The former Marlin, Jake Marisnick, back in the lineup this afternoon as the Houston Astros look for a 3-game sweep of the Miami Marlins from Marlins Park in Miami. A little morning baseball with the Astros. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. The Astros do wrap up the road trip today. Blummer, it would be really nice going into an off day tomorrow at home for a sweep.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those road trips that was on the map, going through New York, taking 3 out of 4, and then sweeping here would be a fantastically happy flight home.
It's been a really good trip overall. The offense has really come alive.
Yeah, the offense is very good. You can see foreseeing the future. The last 4 teams to win 70% of their first 40 games have gone on and won the World Series, except for the Tampa Bay Rays. Sorry about that, Todd. But things are going to change a little bit. These Astros are a very good ball club. They swing the bats well, and it is a very good team offense. I think that's what's leading to the runs being put up on the board.
28-12 for the Astros through 40 games, and we'll look at this offense on the trip.
Yeah, these are great numbers. Started off with Carlos Correa going to that opposite field gap in Yankee Stadium. You see on the road trip, averaging just over 7 runs per game. That is a phenomenal number. That 279 average is actually pretty shocking. You expect it to be higher with as many runs as these guys are scoring, but their on-base percentage is up, the slugging percentage is up. You see the 10 home runs. A couple of those were grand slams, so these guys are doing a great job of getting on base and taking advantage of opportunities to drive the ball out of the ballpark with some guys on base.
And the 10 home runs have been spread out, including Yuli Gurriel with his first career grand slam here in the first game on Monday night. The Astros are exactly 14-6 at home and 14-6 on the road this year, as they are 28-12 coming into this game. They go for the sweep with a kid who grew up in Florida. Lance McCullers Jr. will take the mound today against the Miami Marlins. It'll be McCullers taking on Jose Arena for the Miami Marlins. We'll have all the action with Julia Morales coming up next.
Astros going for the 3-game sweep here, and Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound, his first time pitching in Miami and first time ever facing the Miami Marlins. It's also his 3rd straight road start, which has been trouble for Lance in the past. He's always pitched better at home. However, he's changed that narrative in his last 2 starts on the road. We got to look at Anaheim and then at Yankee Stadium combined. 1-0, 13 innings pitched, and check it out, 1 unearned run, 11 punch-outs to just 2 walks for him. The confidence is always there, but the pitch usage has really catapulted his effectiveness here recently. He's been using that fastball changeup combo much more in those 2 starts, making the breaking ball less predictable, becoming more 3-dimensional than 2-dimensional. We'll look for that today. And the right-hander will be filled with emotion on this day as well. He'll be taking the same mound that his good friend and the late Marlins pitcher Jose Fernandez once stood on. Fernandez, like Lance McCullers, one of the game's brightest young stars, tons of talent. They met when they were pitching at Tampa high schools, and they became workout partners in the summers. They dreamed of making it at the show. He was tragically killed, though, in a boating accident last September. Baseball world taking it very hard, and that includes Lance, who really struggled to understand it last September when we talked to him about that. Today, he's going to do his best to honor number 16, like the baseball world has done with his performance, and then he'll be wearing some cleats today for today's start. They're custom made for him by Nomad. You're getting a good look at him right there. Lance asked for something that Jose would like, so his initials and number will be displayed on the shoe. Also, the glove is a replica of the one Jose wore in 2013 when he won Rookie of the Year. McCullers going to take the mound shortly. The Astros go for the 3-game sweep over the Miami Marlins. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with first pitch.
By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. We welcome you back to Miami, Florida, where, as we zoom in, are inside the closed roof of Marlins Park. Good morning, Houston. This is about as early as it gets for you. Noon start on the East Coast, just after 11, where you are watching us on Root Sports. Other than playing that marathon game in Boston on Monday, this is about as early as it'll get for people back home watching us at 11:10 for the first pitch. But the Astros are ready to go. They've had kind of a unique trip, Lummer, in that they had the 2 games, including a late arrival here on Sunday night into Monday morning. Then you've got the night game followed by another night game, but then a quick turnaround again. I think that's why you're seeing Evan Gattis get a lot of starts because it really hasn't been time for Brian McCann to recover from some of these games.
Yeah, you got to protect these guys through this stretch, but it's a luxury having a guy like Evan Gattis who's willing to go back there and battle it out on these 12 o'clock starts. They are rough, but it has been an interesting time as far as travel is concerned. But it hasn't fazed these Houston Astros at all. They continue to go out there and battle, put together great ABs. They are functioning very well as a team. We saw that last night.
Speaking of last night, it was an offensive explosion. Josh Reddick continuing his hit streak. Jose Altuve, the Astros scored 3 in the first, 3 in the second. They just kept piling on.
Yeah, they really did. It was just a quality offensive day. Bases juiced for Brian McCann. Goes down and gets one. Ended up driving in 3 on a double to right center field. Everybody getting in on the act. Every slot in that lineup, 1 through 9, with Aoki getting that base hit in the 9th, ended up with a base hit. But Jake Marisnick with the big night last night, a couple of bombs off that home run thing. Was kind of fun to watch. But these guys are clicking on all cylinders. They've got their work cut out for them today. It's good to see Lance McCullers on the mound, too.
Pretty much everybody contributed except for George Springer because he had the night off, but he's back in there as the leadoff man in the starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. There is George leading off, playing right field. Josh Reddick in left. Jose Altuve at second base. Evan Gattis catching and batting fourth. Yuli Gurriel, Marwin Gonzalez with an 11-game hitting streak. Alex Bregman, the hero last night, Jake Marisnick, and Lance McCullers Jr.
Jose Urena, 8 games this season. This will be his 3rd start on the season. That FIP above the major league average. Again, that home runs, hits, walks, hit by pitch, the pitcher is in control. The BABIP is below the major league average. He's doing pretty well in that sense. He's doing a good job with his fastball. He averages 96 miles an hour with the heater, the changeup at 90 miles an hour, and the slider at 86 miles an hour. Sound familiar at all compared to the guy across the way in Lance McCullers?
Power changeups, and absolutely has very similar stuff, you would think, to the guy he's opposing tonight. It's going to be interesting to watch Urena. He has high hopes, as do the Marlins, as he gets a chance to stay in the rotation for a little while. Here's George Springer, and he swings to the first pitch and fouls one back. We were kind of joking last night about Wally Pipp. Springer happy to be back in there.
Yeah, anytime a regular gets out of the game and you end up scoring 10+ runs, you're going to feel the heat in the dugout. I'm sure Jake Marisnick was all over him. And George is playing right field. Jake is back in center.
Jake in center field, getting a chance to start back-to-back games for the first time, as Springer has a count of 1-1. Urena, 25-year-old right-hander. 6'3", 206-pounder. Almost hit Springer with that delivery. It's 2-1. Astros already 5-1 on this road trip. A chance for a sweep this afternoon in Miami. 3-1. Urena is a guy who started the year in the bullpen for the Miami Marlins. Moved into the rotation, now making his 3rd start. Did walk 3 against Atlanta in his last start, and he's behind the leadoff hitter at 3-1. Springer to right field. Stanton going back. It's over his head and against the wall. Springer gets things going for the Astros on a Wednesday afternoon with a double to right.
Good job by George Springer. Watch the location of this fastball in that outside corner on our MD Anderson strike zone. Going with it. We know he has power to all fields. It's good to see these day games, early day games, starting off with a shot to right. Welcome back to the lineup, George Springer.
One of the common themes during these last 4 games is the Astros have scored almost 9 runs a game during this stretch. 35 runs in the last 4. Urena delivers to Reddick as he pops one into the shortstop area where JT Riddle waits for it for the first out. The common theme is that the Astros have done damage and knocked out starters in a hurry in the last 4 games. One of them was injury related, with Straley leaving the game on Monday. But they have been knocking out starters early in games.
But done a good job on the attack. Left-handed hitters having some issues, but you see the right-handers hitting .321.
that slider a lot more to righties, but they seem to have done a better job. As you mentioned, that changeup to lefties has been effective as Jose Altuve has a 1-0 count. Altuve 3 for 6 in this series, including a home run. Top 10 in hits, top 10 in runs scored. Carlos Correa with a day off. Carlos Beltran with a day off. Brian McCann with a day off. And Mori Aoki. Those are the 4 on the bench for A.J. Hinch today. And he likes giving one of his regulars a day off leading into an off day because it feels like an extended rest. Correa gets the call today. The one guy he doesn't like doing that with is the guy at the plate.
Yeah, this guy loves to play the game. Doesn't need more than a day off, he feels. Kind of gives you the idea that he's a timing type hitter too, because take a couple days off, that timing may get a little wacky.
Probably one of the few major league players who was disappointed when the All-Star break moved from 3 days to 4 days. For Altuve, like you said, any more than 1 day off feels like forever.
He's usually pretty busy on those All-Star breaks anyways.
George Springer at second, scoring position after a leadoff double. 2-1 the count to Altuve. Rainey getting the start today. We mentioned moving in from the bullpen, but he has to be pretty confident that he'll be part of that rotation for a while now, as the Marlins have really struggled with their starting pitching and sent down Tom Kohler, last night's starter, after the game. Kohler had been with the team at the major league level for the last 4 seasons. Don Mattingly and his team have really struggled, especially with their staff. The bullpen has been rough the last 12 games, averaging 3 runs allowed per game during that stretch, and the starters haven't given them much length. They are searching for it right now. That's Donnie Ballgame, not used to what he is seeing out there. He had a lot of success with the Dodgers and had a pretty good year in his first year with Miami last year, but this year has been a lot different.
Yeah, one way to send a message to your pitching staff is to send a guy down that's been in the big leagues for the last couple of years. Pretty much tells everybody you're not safe. You better produce.
It was obviously Kohler was struggling, but it's a wake-up call for the other 24 guys on that roster. If he goes down, nobody is safe, because he had been a guy who had been around the big leagues for a while. 3-2 pitch, grounded, fair ball. Past the diving Derek Dietrich. Springer's heading around third. George is going to score. Altuve to second. He is safe at second. Astros lead 1-0 on the RBI double by Altuve.
Gotta love the aggressive base running. Altuve in a 2-strike count. Didn't give in to the punch out. Rakes one down that third baseline, just out of the reach of Derek Dietrich. Just off the tip of the glove. And that probably what allowed George Springer to get home. As you take a look at it on our Super Mo, brought to you by Mattress Firm. Deflection off the glove and through the wickets of the third base umpire. Never a doubt George was going to score on that.
Altuve, as always, aggressive on the bases. Whenever he can smell an extra base, he'll take it. And here's Evan Gattis taking a called strike, 0-1. Well, you've got to love the Astros, who have every reason in the world to be completely drained coming into today. They played a doubleheader Sunday beginning at 2 o'clock. Night game, day game starting at noon. So in the span of less than 72 hours, they're now playing their 5th game. And Gattis sends one deep to left field. It's hooking down the line. This ball is foul. Just missed a 2-run home run. Evan Gattis just a little bit out in front of it.
Pretty impressed he got to that pitch. Down and in, dropped the head on it. You're right, Todd. Just a little too quick, creating that A little too much English on it, bending it to the left of the foul pole.
You can see on that last shot that the roof is closed, the bay windows are closed. You can still see downtown Miami Beach. The Miami downtown area beyond left field as Evan Gattis aimed to hit a home run. Astros have hit 4 home runs so far in this series. This is not usually a home run ballpark. Jake Marisnick made a very big park look small last night. Jose Altuve has also hit one, and Yuli Gurriel. Popped in the air. Foul territory. A.J. Ellis has some room, and he bobbles, but squeezes for the second out of the inning.
Houston Methodist is going to bring us our league leaders. Most home runs by a visiting team in a 3-game series here at Marlins Park since 2012. The Mets hit 6, as well as the Braves in 2012. Astros trying to creep up that list. They have 4 in the first 2 games so far.
That shows you a little bit about how tough it is, though.
And this is a very big ballpark. But we've seen the Astros go into Safeco Field, a very big ballpark, and launch out of there too. So their power knows no limits.
One thing the Astros have done well this year is hit with runners in scoring position in general, and then runners in scoring position and 2 outs. It even goes up higher. Yuli Gurriel is right there with the leaders at 444 in that category. On the ground, just foul. Altuve would have easily scored, but the ball was a couple of feet foul. Nothing in 1 to Yuli.
Yeah, you've got to read that number a couple of times to actually believe that the Astros are doing what they're doing. 340 is their batting average with runners in scoring position, 2 outs. Easily number 1 in the major leagues.
It is a relentless offense, 1 through 9, and if you get to 2 outs, you're an opposing pitcher, you feel like you're almost in the dugout. Think again against this team, because they have done a lot of damage this year with 2 outs, even 2 outs and 2 strikes. Going all the way back to the 3rd game of the year, when both Nori Aoki and George Springer were down to 2 strikes and 2 outs in the 13th inning. And Springer ended up walking that off against the Seattle Mariners. Gurriel on 3 pitches goes around, but the Astros jump out on top on a Jose Altuve RBI double. It's 1-0. Where the Marlins will send this lineup out there, brought to you by Don Mattingly. D. Gordon will lead things off. Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna, Justin Bour, Giancarlo Stanton is the right fielder. Derek Dietrich, A.J. Ellis, J.T. Riddle, and the pitcher spot, Jose Urena.
On the mound for your Houston Astros, you're looking at Lance McCullers, turning things around here in 2017 on the road, doing a great job in those last couple outings. How about his FIP? Underneath 3. That's a pretty impressive number, taking care of business by himself. High in the strikeouts, low on the walks. He's done a very good job with the fastball, pitching more effectively with it, and you're actually seeing the ground ball rate for Lance McCullers go up. The strikeouts have gone down, but he's gotten deeper into games with a more efficient pitch count, using the ground ball to get out of innings.
D. Gordon will lead things off for the Miami Marlins. That ground ball rate has really been a lot on the fastball too. Just keeping that fastball low in the zone, and he's actually 2nd now in the American League in ground ball percentage behind his teammate.
Pretty impressive to see him make that adjustment.
Dallas Keuchel leads the way, and that's not a story, but Lance being 2nd is a story. As D. Gordon fouls one away, it's 2-2.
We got the peripherals out of the way. We'll look at the standard numbers. That ERA underneath 3, WHIP getting closer to 1. There's the 57 punch outs you see next to the 13 walks.
That hits D. Gordon on the 2-2 pitch.
Ouch. It's one way to slow down a burner.
That was that power curveball, and Gordon shows that he's okay, sprinting down to first and now running through the bag to make sure everything's fine.
Has he ever played baseball before? Where's he going? No, I'm just kidding. No, breaking ball from Lance McCullers coming. Gosh, got that knee. My goodness.
See, D second, tied for second in the National League in stolen bases. He'll have to be watched. 11 of 14 in steals this year. Here's Christian Yelich. Yelich having a good homestand, hitting .310 during this 9-game homestand. It's been a struggle, though. The Marlins have lost 7 of 8 in this 9-game homestand, which wraps up today. The .310 average in the homestand, but only 1 for 8 against the Astros in the first couple of games. Lance misses away, or up. It's 2-0. Mentioned Lance in the ground ball rate in Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel left yesterday's game, and we were speculating on the broadcast, and A.J. Hinch confirmed afterwards that it was an 8-run lead at that point. Even though Dallas had only thrown 70 pitches, they wanted Dallas kind of just to take the night off. You know the competitor Dallas is. That couldn't have been an easy conversation, but A.J. got Dallas out of there after 5 innings.
And if it was a close game, you'd probably see Dallas Keuchel in there a little bit longer. And Dallas wants to be in those games, but I think he understands, you know, the way things are going, and you've got to, you're trying to forecast later in the season, maybe save some bullets, so to speak. But how about Lance McCullers? We talked about being efficient with him. He's been the one guy in the past couple of years that they've really backed off on as far as innings limits. But if he's effective and efficient, and he backs down on that pitch count, might actually help him accrue more innings later on in the season, which would be great for the Houston Astros, because if they continue to do as well as they are right now, getting 30 to 35 starts out of Dallas Keuchel and Lance McCullers, wow.
That was what a lot of people said was the key to the season coming in. Fun to see the 23-year-old stay healthy for a season. Gurriel to second. A return throw. Nobody was on the bag. Lance was covering. Yuli caught the ball off the bag. So they get the force out. Lance is probably like, I was covering.
I got your back.
I got you. Not sure if they would have turned it on Yelich. It was going to be a close play either way.
Yeah, but a good job of getting that lead runner. That's all you're focusing on right there with a couple of speedsters. Yelich runs really well at home plate. D. Gordon runs well at second base. Good job by Yuli Gurriel creating an angle on the inside there, but even better job by Marwin making sure he stayed on that bag at second base. Don't give the other team an opportunity to review that.
Pitches inside to Marcell Ozuna, 1-0.
I like it.
Take that inside part of the plate.
I want to send a message. You can't throw too many baseballs near my second baseman who's hitting third either. That's just the player instinct in me speaking right there. I could be completely wrong, but that's what it felt like.
There was a comment made, and I agree with it, by Straley, Dan Straley, after his start where he hit Altuve. Obviously they played together, doesn't want to hit Altuve, but he said that little line on the plate side of the batter's box, he goes, that's as much my area as it is the hitter's area. You don't see pitchers go in there very often, and there are a lot of guys that lean out. You watch where Ozuna sets up, and when he dives in over the plate, that's where Lance tried to go with that first pitch. Now he's inside on him again, and that ties him up. It's 1-2 on the changeup.
Great changeup. And he has been fearless with that right on right. I want to say he's almost thrown it more to right-handers than he has left-handers because of that good down and in sync to it.
You may hear an excess of noise in this game today.
Todd's pass list is here.
Pitches inside, and again, they're really working Ozuna in. I don't think he's real thrilled about it.
Well, you know what's funny about that last pitch? That was a changeup at 92.
Howard change. The kids you hear are part of STEAM Day. Science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics. And there are thousands of youngsters in attendance. On the ground towards the middle, Altuve to Gonzalez, and not quite in time to get Ozuna. The Marlins are forced out at second base on a nice play by the middle of the infield.
That was almost a spectacular double play. Altuve in that shifting kind of region gave a pretty good feed to Marwin, who Really didn't bat an eye at it, just picked it up nicely and tried to square his shoulders back up. And how about Lance McCullers getting a couple of ground balls after the hit by pitch, but nicely done. You know what I like too? Is Altuve could have gotten fancy and glove flipped it to second base, but knew that he had to make a good flip to Marwin, put it in the bare hand and made sure that first out. That was fundamentally sound.
Marwin looking smooth on the turns at second so far as Justin Bourne digs in there. Justin's been a little power surge lately. Also 15 RBIs in his last 16 games. AJ was asked about Marwin playing shortstop today and Bregman playing third.
That was a good job, and that's what I mean. You're going to be a much more sure-handed and accurate when you do it with the bare hand as opposed to flipping that out of the glove. Showtime flips are good sometimes. That wasn't the time, and Altuve made a great choice.
Such a tough angle for Marwin to get anything on that throw, and Ozuna barely beat it. But Marwin playing short today when Carlos Correa was hit by a pitch and missed a couple of games. As this ball hits Justin Bourne, so 2 hit batters in this inning. Lance a little frustrated with himself. He was ahead of the count, and he hits Bourne with a pitch.
Just yanking the crud out of that curveball. Getting a couple of hitters with that breaking ball. You see back, when we say back foot slider, that's not necessarily what we mean, but that got him on that back foot.
So 2 hit batters, 2 fielders choices, first and second 2 outs, and the big man Giancarlo Stanton at the plate.
A little too high of a spin rate on that last one.
McCullers called Evan Gattis out to the mound to have a little discussion after that last batter, and now he starts out Giancarlo with a strike, 0-1. And Lance ahead 0-2.
How about that swing? It's a pretty nasty break on that curveball from Lance McCullers. Get a hitter like this to bail. You can see with that ball jumping out of the hand of Lance, it's very deceptive, and you can see Giancarlo Stanton might have been anticipating heater in.
Yeah, that was the old step in the bucket swing.
Yeah, buckle up.
There it is again. This time no chase from Stanton. It's 1-2. When Correa missed games earlier this year, Bregman played shortstop, but AJ saying he wants Bregman to have a routine and some normalcy, playing third every day. So that's why Marwin plays short today. And Alex is at third. Stanton tried to hold up. He did, says the crew chief Sam Holbrook. 2-2 the count. EJ Rayburn calling balls and strikes. Holbrook first. Jim Wolf, Chris Siegel, the umpires today.
And you know what, for Alex Bregman, I know that the ego is going to say, hey, I want to play shortstop because it looks good moving forward and helps your future value knowing that you can play shortstop. But playing third base more consistently for him right now, I think, is the right choice.
Marwin seems to be fine no matter where you put him. 2-2 pitch bounces up there. So after getting ahead of Stanton 0-2, now the count's full. And once again, Lance calls out his catcher, Evan Gattis, to have a discussion. They have a game plan going in, but then adjustments are made, and in his first inning, Lance wants to make sure pitcher and catcher are on the same page. For the most part this year, Lance has been throwing to Brian McCann, but again, McCann with a night game last night, followed by a quick turnaround. So Gattis gets the start. 3-2 pitch is a curveball, chop foul.
I would say Gattis has caught Lance one time before, so there is experience there. First innings this season have actually been pretty good for Lance McCullers. In the past, they have created some issues, but I think being aggressive with that fastball, getting ahead in counts has been good for him.
One time this year for Gattis and Lance.
It was
last year. They had their share of times together too. Yep. Ball in the dirt. McCullers, after getting ahead 0-2, is showing some frustration as he walks Giancarlo Stanton. So 2 hit batters and a walk this inning.
And Brian McCann working primarily with Lance McCullers. And obviously the schedule creating issues, trying to get McCann back behind the plate, try and give him some rest. But Lance is a highly excitable guy, and this is a highly excitable situation. And people at home may not understand that pitching here in Miami is a big deal for Lance McCullers. Julia had hinted at it with the Jose Fernandez connection, but he wants to perform well here.
He's been wearing the glove, as Julia mentioned, from the 2013 season, the same model Fernandez wore. And today he's got the special shoes in honor of his friend Jose Fernandez. Just for today, he is wearing those shoes. So, very important day for Lance, as you mentioned. The coach that they shared in Tampa, Florida, is in attendance today as well. Pitch for a strike to Derek Dietrich.
Getting out of this inning will help him calm down a little bit.
It's a big batter. On the ground towards Altuve. He'll make the play to first, and the Marlins leave the bases loaded. Lance able to get out of it. Houston leads 1-0 after one.
In the top of the second, and the Astros are celebrating Jeff Bagwell's election into the Hall of Fame all season long. A special 5-game ticket package includes tickets to the Hall of Fame weekend in August and access to exclusive Baggy-themed giveaways. Visit astros.com/mini-plans for more info.
Astros lead 1-0. One of the hottest Houston Astro hitters, Marwin Gonzalez, leads things off. Marwin, this month, has scored 24. During his 11-game hitting streak, he's .405. He has an OPS on the season of over 1,000.
That's not easy to do.
And he's getting a chance to play a little bit more. Basically became a regular during that Texas series and beyond, as he was hitting a home run every game, it seemed like. Marwin tied for the team lead with 9 home runs. He and George Springer. Takes a pitch away for a ball, 2-0. In last night's game, Marwin did a really good job going up the middle with a couple of base hits. Also walked, scored a couple of runs. This one is popped foul. Dietrich will give it a look. It is near the camera well and into the camera well. Thank goodness the camera was there.
Yeah, he blocked him out.
Cannot be.
No, it's not easy getting over there. And you see him taking peeks. He's playing a little bit of a shift, so he wasn't on that line. And again, it would have taken a valiant effort without the camera there to make that play. You can see just out of the reach, knocking that glove down. But in a perfect world, you get over there early enough to get a feel for your surroundings and then give it a good lunge over the rail.
Three and 1 to Marwin. That's inside, ball 4. Leadoff walk for the Astros in the second inning. That's what got Tom Kohler in trouble in yesterday's game. Not a leadoff walk, but 3 consecutive walks.
Another look at that play.
What are you supposed to do?
How dare you hit my camera?
Here's the viewfinder. A little help from Rawlings. Those are fixed cameras. They're not going anywhere. Ball in the air to center field. Christian Yelich puts it away for out number 2. A little bluff by Marwin to draw a throw, but no advancement. Bregman flies out to center field. Time to check in with Julia Morales.
Thanks, Todd. Jake Marisnick coming up. Yesterday was Jake Day to the extreme. He had a very special day against his former team here. 2 home runs last night, both off that colorful sculpture in center field, taking out flamingos. And that first homer, he got all of it. Was talking about it after the game. Got the belt. He was player of the game yesterday. But it was good for him because, guys, he's been saying that he's been pressing a little bit, not feeling really well. So to get good swings like that. Also, after the first 2 home runs, he had another at bat where he sent one to center field for a double. And I did ask him, were you aiming for that sculpture for a 3rd time? And he said no comment. But if I was, George might have had something to do with it. But also, this was another opportunity as he faced his old team. He was reflecting back to his first career home run, which he had here his first year in the big leagues.
Hey, he was right at you there when you did your report from left center field. He said no comment about that, Julie, and I think no comment on whether or not he likes the sculpture, right?
Right.
That's very diplomatic of him, because that thing is terrible. I do need to go out there and get a selfie with it, though, don't you think?
No. Oh, just in case it's not here next year? Just as memorabilia?
For nostalgic purposes.
Well, fortunately, don't want to jinx this, but we haven't seen a display yet this series. Justin Bour hit one in the 8th inning, but we haven't seen it too often. The Astros with 4 home runs in this series, and the Marlins with the Justin Bour home run late in the game to make it a 7-2 game on Monday. There's a line drive caught by Dietrich on the line. Gonzalez gets back to the bag. So line drive by Jake, and he's retired. And that'll bring up the left-hand hitting and right-hand throwing pitcher, Lance McCullers Jr. Lance much more eager to bat than his counterpart last night, Dallas Keuchel.
Is Lance ever not eager, especially on the baseball field? He loves playing this game.
He swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Dietrich and A.J. Ellis give it a look, but it is into the dugout. A.J. Hinch said Lance might be on deck before Jake Marisnick today. That's how excited he is to hit.
Nice.
Got a pretty good swing.
Get that swing out of the way early. Now you're loose.
That one's fouled out of play. I know you joke about how, you know, watching pitchers hit is not your favorite thing. I do think the one thing it does for American League pitchers who don't get to hit much is it kind of reinstills in your mind how hard it actually is to be a hitter. And maybe you think more about that when you go back on the mound, because it is not easy. And until you get into that box, maybe you give the hitters more credit until you actually get a chance yourself.
Pitchers in the box make me uneasy.
Lance did go deep a few times in batting practice. You never know. Maybe not in a 1-2 count. Now he's evened it up at 2-2.
You always get a good idea about a pitcher at the plate when he gets a little bit of a wrinkle in the pitch.
See if Lance gets something here. 2-2.
Well, I'm all for them going out there and trying it, and it is not easy, but it's kind of funny at times too.
Inside. 3-2.
Oh, unleash the fury. 3-2 heater. Here's your chance, Lance.
He is not even stepping out of the box either.
No, raring to go.
He is geared up. He knows Urania has to come with a strike now at 3-2. Hit well to center field, but not well enough, as Yelich is going to get back there. Almost to the track, though, for Lance. Now 1 for 6 in his career. And we're through an inning and a half. 1-0 Houston.
Marlins, and we've got a chance. We're going to look at Lance McCullers' pitch usage this season, presented by AT&T. First 8 starts on that left-hand side. The last 2 starts on the road for Lance McCullers. Getting a little bit heavier on that fastball, a little more aggressive with it. We talked about the ground ball percentage going up against that also. But how about the changeup? Backing off on the curveball and focusing a little bit more on that changeup. We've seen it here early on. He's throwing it right on right, throwing a couple of lefties, but doing a good job with a good 3-pitch mix now.
Really has changed things around for Lance the last couple of outings. Not as heavily dominant on that curveball. He's got the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up this inning. A.J. Ellis, J.T. Riddle, and the pitcher, Jose Urania. It was a pretty long inning in the first inning. Had to work out of a bases loaded situation, did Lance, and threw 27 pitches. But he would like to keep that number way down this inning, facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters. That ball's hit pretty well on the line. Jake Marisnick, though, gets over there and makes the play look pretty easy. Jake must have had a great jump on that line drive. One away in the second.
Good instincts lead to good jumps. The ball was hit pretty hard by A.J. Ellis. It's fun to watch Jake out there when he's locked in. Makes it look easy.
You know you have to be pretty good in center when George Springer has to move.
Yeah.
We've seen George make some plays, but man, Jake was on that in a hurry. You can see him get to full speed in a flash. One out, nobody on. JT Riddle with a 1-1 count. There's George. He's playing right field and gets moved as we speak. He was a little too close to the line. There is a lot of room between George and the right field foul line.
You know who was moving him? Jake Marisnick. Jake was going shifting over there, and he kind of threw out the fishing line and reeled him over with him. It was fun to watch. Yeah, I was just taking a peek at the field.
Threw out the fishing line at Marlins Park. I like that. Lance is going to take this himself, and he beats Gurriel and he beats Riddle to the bag. Lance put on the afterburners there to get the second out.
Defensive metrics for Astros outfielders, and defensive WAR a little bit subjective. Some things going in there, but Jake Marisnick clearly the leader out there on defense. He also has a high velocity arm that's been tracked. He also is a very good DRS guy, which is a defensive run save number. But pretty good guys to have in the outfield for the Houston Astros, and a real luxury having a guy like that on your roster that you can bring in, not only starting, but he can come in late in ball games and help your defense out.
Nori Aoki, you can see in that defensive WAR slightly ahead of Josh Reddick. He does have more outfield assists, but to your point about it being subjective, Josh Reddick comes in defensively usually for at times Nori Aoki.
And Josh is a very good outfielder.
So why is he -0.0?
And that's where I think the issues come in with that D-WAR.
That was a crazy swing by Uranian. His helmet came off. Taking his time, making sure he shows off the hair. Lance ahead 1-2. Lance saw all fastballs from Urania. Urania batting, career 132 average. Around a bunt with 2 strikes. What? The pitcher gets it down, and he almost beats the play. A 2-strike bunt with 2 outs, and Urania gets thrown out on what turned out to be a pretty good play by Evan Gaddis. We're through 2. Astros lead 1-0.
Take a look at our Chevy Stroh poll. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at RootSportsSW. That's where you find these. You can vote which of the current Astros RBI leaders will be the RBI champ. Brian McCann, 25 so far. Marwin Gonzalez has 24. Carlos Correa has 23. How many does George Springer have? 22.
George Springer has 22.
There you go.
And 3 guys have 18, Julia.
Wow.
They have 10 guys in double digits in RBIs.
You know what's pretty cool, as Julia shows us those numbers, is that this is the only trip here for the entire team together. But there'll be a few guys that come back here in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And of that list that Julia showed us for the Astros poll, who knows? It could be any one of those guys. It could be multiple guys.
All of them. Take them all.
Take them all. The entire Astros team, if they could continue to play 700 baseball. But yeah, I mean, you still have, what, 7-8 weeks before the All-Star roster. It's probably about 7 weeks. So there's still a lot of baseball to be played. But right now, you know, there's a lot of candidates, but also not one guy that you say, maybe other than Dallas Keuchel, that you say he's definitely headed towards the All-Star game if he keeps this up.
Yeah, I mean, Altuve and Correa have the name equity around the league, which helps them as far as popularity, because that's what it's turned into these days. But I mean, there's guys that will have all-star numbers. There'll be multiple guys on this roster that'll probably have all-star numbers.
All-Star game in 2017 right here at Marlins Park. George Springer down to the count 0-2.
Don't forget about Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, Keuchel, I think would
There's a guy in the bullpen. He's got a changeup. Man, if I could only remember his name.
The Dragon.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, Devo might get an opportunity to make an appearance.
It'll be unique, and he is a unique pitcher in that you don't often see guys who don't close games out of the bullpen. But Devo has put up numbers that you don't see very often either.
There might be a lot of guys in the bullpen around the league that might be cheering for that, to give a little exposure to those guys who do some of the grunt work.
He's gone 4 innings twice. He's closed out games a couple of times. Astros lead 1-0 as we start the 3rd inning. Springer takes a pitch away for a ball. It's 1-2. George doubled and scored the only run of this game, his first time up. So I didn't see it, but you literally saw Jake do the fishing sign to George to reel him in.
Yeah, we had George on camera. You guys were talking about moving, and I was watching in center field, and Jake kind of leaned back, kind of put his hands out and reeled him in, getting him a little bit closer to him. These guys know how to have a good time.
These guys always find a way to have some fun, especially George and Jake. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Springer wants to make sure that was a strike that he swung at as he asked home plate umpire DJ Rayburn on his way back to the bench. What did you want to hear if you were a hitter? You always wanted to hear it was a strike, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least the only reason you want to hear it's a strike is because you want to make sure that you're attacking in the zone. You don't want to go up there and have the guy say, no, it was off the plate. Then you feel terrible because then you expanded the zone in a 3-2 count and chased ball 4.
Do you remember doing that much?
I did.
Yeah, just to make sure your zone was what his zone is.
I'm trying to, I'll try and make the pain of a strikeout a little bit less.
Fouled back, it's 0-2. But that's truly one of the few times you can ask an umpire without showing them up.
Yeah. No, there's plenty of conversations that you can have with umpires and not show them up. There's also situations, because umpires are very good if you handle it appropriately and talk to them as if they are a peer. They will give you any answer you want. You play long enough with these guys, you got them on a first name basis, you know nicknames, so you do create a good rapport with them. And if you've got a good enough rapport with them, you'll punch out in a big situation and you'll turn around to the umpire and scream at him, kind of get the fans into it a little bit and make them think that you are intense about the AB. But you tell the guy, you're like, I had no chance of hitting that pitch. That was one of the nastiest sliders I've ever seen.
Yelich drifts back, pretty well hit by Josh Reddick, sends Christian all the way to the fence. But that's just a long out. Josh is hitting some tough luck in this series.
He really has, but he continues to barrel the ball up, which is good to see. He was frustrated after that first AB not moving Springer to third base.
So occasionally you would be right there saying, I had no chance to hit that pitch, and everybody in the stands is thinking you're giving him something.
Yeah, I'm airing him out for blowing a call on me. But at that time, at that given moment, I'm explaining to him that I wasn't ready for it. It was the nastiest slider I've ever seen. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to casually walk back to the dugout. Thank you for putting up with me.
There's a ball in the center. That's going to send Yelich back all the way to the track, and it is over his head and against the fence. Yelich crashes into the wall. Altuve to third. He is going to go in easily with a stand-up triple with 2 outs.
Some balls being smashed in this inning. Yelich has had to get on that horse a couple of times. Got Josh Reddick, but not this one off the bat of Altuve. Ball tailing right back to the center part of the plate. Now Altuve puts a good charge into it. Already has a home run here in Miami. That was in the glove of Yelich. Wow. Good job of tracking that down. But a very fortunate Jose Altuve. Wow.
In and out of the glove, and then the crash into the wall. That jarred Yelich. Jose had thoughts about a possible inside the park home run, but we got the ball back in fairly quickly as Evan Gattis fouls the first pitch, 0-1.
104.2 off the bat.
Ball had really good carry. That was hit on the line over the center fielder's head.
Vinny Castilla, if you hit something like that, Vinny Castilla would say, you got good back of spin, dog.
Well, there's a hit batter on the other side. Lance McCullers hit 2 batters in the first inning on breaking balls. Evan Gattis hit with a fastball there. Second time he's been hit by a pitch in this series, and he is on at first base. Last time Gaddis was hit by a pitch, it didn't work out well for the Marlins.
Didn't work out well for the baseball either. But this one just gets that jersey as he tries to jump out of the way.
Last time Gaddis was hit by a pitch, Brian McCann followed with a bases clearing double. Now Yuli Gurriel, a chance for 2-out RBI once again. He came up with 2 outs and a runner on second last time. Now he's got runners on the corners with 2 away. Yuli struck out swinging on 3 pitches against Urena his first time up. Up high to Yuli, 1-0. One and one the count. Astros coming in with a major league best record of 28-12. It is also 2 games better through 40 games than they've been at any point in franchise history. 26-14, their previous best, set a couple of years ago. This ball's hit deep to left field. Ozuna all the way back to the track. He's in front of the wall, and he will make the play for the final out of the inning. Gurriel didn't miss a 3-run home run by a whole lot, but the Astros lead 1-0.
Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Beautiful shot of the beach there. That's where I should have gone to run.
Where do you run?
I don't really know. I just took off running.
Oh,
but
man.
I never saw that.
You never saw the Atlantic Ocean?
You never got to the beach?
Wow, no.
Could
I
see it
saw
from my
water.
hotel room.
Saw
You saw
water,
but not the ocean.
not the ocean. Dang it. When do we come back? 3
All-Star.
years?
Could you come back for the All-Star game?
No.
There's a pretty cool feature on your phone. It's called a map. I'm just messing Julia.
Oh, man, the New York trip, I think, messed me all
This
up.
whole trip, yeah, I think all of us are kind of in that fog right now.
Did you get to Central Park in New York?
I did.
There you go.
First day.
Well, you hit one of the big landmarks on this trip.
Yeah,
Just
Central
didn't-
Park's a great run.
Just missed that lake in Miami.
Except for that whole South Beach thing. No, I went to the Clevelander. I'm all good.
There you go.
There you go.
We are underway in the bottom of the third with Deke Gordon batting. Yeah, not a lot of time for Julia or anybody to do much here in Miami. Coming in at 5 in the morning and having a day game after a night game to wrap up this series. And coming in at 5 in the morning was because of the doubleheader in New York. Had nothing to do with Clevelander or anything in South Beach. That was when they arrived on Sunday night.
Just in time for last call.
I'm telling you, the people down here in Miami don't know going in early. They don't understand that concept as Lance McCullers makes the play for the first out. Often they don't go out till very late and then come in very late into the wee hours of the morning. Julia?
Cannonball!
People in the pool today.
I'm not going out there. That's not going to replace the ocean for me.
That's as close to the Atlantic as you got.
Right. I'm sure they're having a good time.
Clevelander is a fun time. They stay open after the games as well.
The visiting bullpen has a great view of it.
Yeah, that is something that changed a few years ago. Used to be the home bullpen, and it was duly noted that the home bullpen guys were not necessarily as focused on the game as maybe they could have been.
Why is that, Todd?
They offered distractions now to the visitors. You may see a dancer or two in the background, and that is in clear view of everybody in the Astros bullpen. Called strike to Christian Yelich, 1-2.
The bass is also going out there. So there's constant loud music they're listening to.
That's what it's all about.
Right.
Occasionally you'll see Mr. Bracamonte dancing away out there as the music plays and when he's not warming up or helping out in the bullpen. 2 outs, nobody on for as Christian Yelich flies out to center field. There's part of the activities in the Clevelander. There's the DJ. You can see his setup. Dancers, the pool, and the game in the background.
Just another day in Miami.
That is the ballpark. That is in the ballpark.
Another day in the major leagues.
It is. What time is it in Texas? It is noon. Feels like morning.
A little breakfast with your base.
The kids woke up.
Oh, did they?
Pitch misses. It's 2-0. Well, a couple people wrote that All-Star Game was one of their favorite baseball-themed trips. That was our Twitter Tuesday theme yesterday, and if they carry through this year, they'll be coming back to Miami to check out this ballpark. 2-1 the count. Stadium that opened up in 2012 with a series against the Houston Astros. There are two Astros that played in that series that are currently on the team, and that's the middle infield combination today of Jose Altuve and Marwin Gonzalez. JD Martinez, as we showed you Monday night, hit the first home run ever in this stadium. 3-1's a breaking ball line and caught by Alex Bregman. Hit hard by Ozuna, but Lance McCullers has a 1-2-3 inning, and Lance has retired 7 in a row. We head to the 4th inning. The fish tanks behind home plate in full view here as Marwin Gonzalez, Alex Bregman, Jake Marisnick will lead things off for the Astros. Houston looking to wrap up this road trip with a W and head out of town with a perfect record in interleague play. They won the first 2 games against the Atlanta Braves and also the first 2 games against these Miami Marlins, looking for a 3-game sweep this afternoon, heading back to Houston with an off day tomorrow. And then the Indians are in town over the weekend. Jose at MIA has allowed 3 base hits so far. He's also hit a batter and walked a batter. And he throws inside on Marwin Gonzalez. Misses 1-0. Gonzalez walked his first time up. On the ground foul. It's 1-1. Astros winning 3 out of 4 against the New York Yankees. Scoring 16 runs in the doubleheader on Sunday. They've come in here to Miami and won 7-2 and 12-2. Scoring all those runs lately, 35 in 4 games. They have now matched the Yankees for the most runs scored in the American League. Yankees have played fewer games, so they have a better runs per game average, but both the Astros and the Yankees sitting on 208 runs scored coming in. The Astros, for the time being, taking the lead with a 1-0 lead in this game. Remember, this is a team that scored 21 runs in the first 8 games of the season. Gonzalez with a count of 2-2. Astros have 208, Yankees have 208. Next closest team is Seattle with 194. At the bottom end, Kansas City only has 120 runs scored. Two pitches, ground and foul. Carlos Beltran with the day off, and A.J. Hinch for the 2nd consecutive time plays Beltran in the outfield, and Carlos doesn't catch a fly ball. He didn't have any to catch. Not like he missed them.
It's another day off in the outfield for him. It's pretty impressive how he's done that a couple of times now.
Beltran played in the outfield and right field at Yankee Stadium. No fly balls in that game. Yesterday with Dallas Keuchel on the mound, no fly balls to left field.
Some A.J. Hinch wizardry behind that call.
Wanted Beltran's bat to play in the National League City, even though this outfield is expansive.
Is it really hard to put a guy in the outfield when a guy who's pitching has like 75% of his outs on the ground? I want to give A.J. all the credit in the world, but come on.
Timing's everything.
It is. You ain't lying. It's telling Jake right there, you got to hit 2 more home runs to get back in the lineup tomorrow.
He likes messing with Jake, doesn't he?
He does. But I think that's kind of the beauty in what AJ's doing with these guys. He's still able to joke and have a good time with these guys, but he knows that if he has to turn that page and become AJ the manager, he can, and they still respect him. It's great.
Three and two to Marwin. On the ground foul. Gonzalez looking to continue his hitting streak. Had been leading the team in RBIs ever since that Rangers series, but Brian McCann caught him and passed him with a 4 RBI game last night. Marwin stays alive, still 3 and 2. Jose Urena. Third start of the season. He's been up and down with the Marlins the last 3 years. And he gets Gonzalez on a fastball up in the zone. That is strikeout number 3 for Urena. Julia?
Hey Todd, Alex Bregman coming up here. Had the day off yesterday. He did get a pinch hit, but we saw him on Sunday in Game 2 against the Yankees at the doubleheader. It was first home run of the season, and it was a first career grand slam for Bregman. In that first game, though, he struggled. He had an offer, but he had his mom in town, Jackie Bregman. She was celebrating Mother's Day with him. She was also enjoying Derek Jeter festivities because she was a Jeter fan. So after the first game, she asked him, "Do you want me to leave?" Because he'd had a tough game. Bregman, of course, said no. Thank goodness she stayed, though, because she did get to see that big grand slam of his, the first in the big leagues. But I did ask Bregman about that. He said, that's just how my parents are. They're a big baseball family, very superstitious. Dad will not shave until he gets a hit sometimes if he's struggling. That's just how they are. But good thing she stuck around for that second game, guys.
Yeah, how about that? Couldn't have worked out any better. The number 2, Mother's Day. They have a dog named Jeter, right, Julia?
I believe that is correct. Yeah, I read that somewhere. No, that was impressive. And that, I mean, that's the cool part about baseball. How about Yuli Gurriel coming down here to Miami, making this his home now, had 50 family and friends watching the ball game, and he goes yah for a 4 RBI home run.
There's Yuli. Doesn't have the big hair anymore if you missed that earlier in the series.
That is the only disappointing thing. I'm sure with the right product he could elevate again.
Ball into right field. What was Yuli's response, Julia? Didn't he have an English answer when asked about the hair?
Yes, he said La Pina is tired. So it was half Spanish, half English. He's been working on his English. It's pretty good, and he actually understands when we ask him questions. He's just been working on his responses, but that was pretty good, which means the pineapple is tired. And that's what the guys are calling it in the clubhouse, that hairstyle of his. The former hairstyle. This is nothing like that. It's unique in its own way.
A marked difference in how much fun he's having and how loose he is this year from last year?
I would say so. You know, he was very reserved last year. I think he was just trying to get to know the team, trying to get to know baseball in the U.S. A lot going on for him. But this year, the players have really embraced him. They say he has good one-liners. So pretty funny.
I like how Yuli did the interview the other day with Julian. He was answering before the translation came to him, so he's understanding English a lot more each year as Jake Marisnick has a 2-1 count. Jake lined out to third his first time. Had an extended discussion with A.J. Hinch before this at bat, and he's ahead of the count 3-1. Now if you're the 8 hitter, you talked about the different roles in the National League. You're hoping to get on base here so you can start at the least with your leadoff hitter on next inning to get your pitcher out of the way. Now Lance might be a different case, but it's a whole different game, isn't it, Plummer, as an 8 hitter in this league?
Yeah. Runners in scoring position, you have a tendency to expand a little bit because there's not much faith in that pitcher hitting in the 9-hole. And then you have a situation like you just saw right there, 2 outs, 3-1 count. You want to narrow down that zone a little bit and do your best to get on base like Jake just did.
So now instead of Lance having to lead off the 5th inning, he gets a chance to either continue this 4th inning, see how he fares. Lance hit a ball pretty deep his first time up, but caught by Christian Yelich shy of the track in center field. And he swings and sends one down the line and left. Marcell Ozuna closes in on it, puts it away for the final out. So that'll do it for the Astros. We are through 3.5, and Houston leads 1-0. Astros lead 1-0 on an RBI double by Jose Altuve. As McCullers worked around a hit batter and a couple of walks in the first inning, and after that he is now sent down 6 straight the last 2 innings and 7 straight overall. Here is Justin Bour. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning on a breaking ball when Lance was ahead of the count. On the ground towards shallow right. Jose Altuve is there, and there's one away.
Join the Astros at Minute Maid Park this Saturday as they take on the Cleveland Indians. 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Lance McCullers Jr. gnome presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. Visit the Astros or visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more info. And get out there and visit the Astros. Pick up a cool gnome.
Not just a gnome, a glow-in-the-dark gnome.
It's kind of Superman-ish. Lance has worn the Batman cleats, but they made a almost Superman-looking gnome for him.
The little Star H will light up, right?
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
That'll be Saturday with the Indians in town. Good crowd so far this year at Minute Maid Park. And why not? This team, if you're ever going to be excited about a start of the season, 28-12 is about as good as it gets. Saw in the pregame show, or our little warm-up segment before the game, how teams fare who start that well. It usually bodes well for their season. And the Astros at a 70% winning percentage, 700 winning percentage through 40 games. Exact same record at home and on the road. Giancarlo Stanton with a 1-2 count. Lance bounces one up there. It's 2-2.
I think it's kind of funny when those websites come out with chances to make the playoffs.
They already have them.
They've already got them out. Yeah. Nationals are at, you know, something crazy like 92. Right behind them are the Astros at 89. But yeah, a little premature.
Well, the Nationals lead by 9 games. That's the biggest lead of any division. And the Astros lead by 8. No other division has more than a 2.5 game cushion other than those two. How about the Texas Rangers have won 7 straight games, and they've gained a half a game on the Astros.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think it's a credit to the Astros, but I also think it's a credit to their mentality. They got snuck up on, I believe it was 2015. They ended up getting the wild card that year, but they had a pretty healthy lead on the Texas Rangers, and I think that's their attitude this year, is just to expand that lead as much as they can. Just run away with it if they can. Because you don't want to be within striking range. We've seen too many crazy things happen in baseball where somebody freaks out and just all of a sudden has a blistering month of September and sneaks up on you.
3-2 pitch misses away, ball 4. I think that's why it's important in this series. You're excited that you've won 2 out of 3, and you look at the results of teams that have started out with 28 or 29 wins through 40. That's the last 4 teams to win 70% or more of their first 40 games. 3 world champions. It's only happened 4 times in the last dozen years. So it's not like this happens a lot. This is rare air that the Astros are breathing right now.
It really is.
Cubs did it last year. Prior to that, 2010. Previous time it happened. Here's Derek Dietrich. I think that's why it's important. Yes, they've won the series, but to face a team like the Marlins, who are really struggling right now, to finish off this sweep would be a really good way to go into the off day. You're going to have a good road trip regardless. You're either going to be 5-2 or 6-1. But if you can put this team away, Lance can pitch well today. That goes a long way towards your breather, your off day on Thursday, and then getting ready for your next homestand.
Well, that next homestand, you take a look at that homestand. You're facing the Cleveland Indians, a perennial contender here in the last couple of years. The Detroit Tigers, pretty good hitting ball club coming in. Then the Baltimore Orioles have been playing great in the American League East too. So pretty good stretch coming up. Twins have started to fall off a little bit, but you don't want to look too far forward, but sitting up here, we can actually do that. But it's going to be a nice homestand for these guys to go out there and continue to do damage. But the real test is going to be out there in Arlington to begin June.
See the AL East with the Yankees leading the Orioles by a half game. The Orioles are one of those three teams Plummer mentioned is in town on the next homestand. The Central, the only two teams that have beaten the Astros in a series reside in the Central. Jake Marisnick on the move, diving catch by Jake, trying to get Giancarlo Stanton on the double play, and not quite in time. Pulled Yuli just off the bag, but how about Jake with that catch to rob Derek Dietrich?
Finally something out of his range where he had to actually lay out. Great play, getting the recognition from his pitcher on a great play to pick him up. Ball dropping softly in front of Jake, got a good jump, lays out. Almost had himself a double play, but a good job of keeping his eye on the ball, watching it all the way into the glove.
Well, 2 outs, a runner on first. We've seen Jake do a little bit of everything on this trip. We saw him throw out a runner to win a game. We saw him just make a diving catch. And last night he hit the home run sculpture a couple of times. One of them 450 feet. A.J. Ellis, the batter, he lined out to Jake his first time up. Ellis, the only guy in the Marlins lineup that has faced Lance McCullers Jr. prior to tonight. Lance ahead 0-2. Marlins have had 4 base runners, 3 on walks, and 1 on a hit batter. Upstairs with a fastball, 1-2. Ellis spent most of his career with the Dodgers. Last year split some time between the Dodgers and the Phillies as he went to Philadelphia. And Carlos Ruiz went to the Dodgers. Goes Stanton, swing and a miss. Won't matter for Stanton running because that's a strikeout. That is strikeout number 1 for Lance McCullers Jr. as we end the 4th with a 1-0 Houston lead.
It's already time, baseball fans. The 2017 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot is here. Head to astros.com/vote to choose your ASG worthy stars and send them to the All-Star Game on July 11th in Miami, presented by MasterCard. Todd.
All right, Julia. 5th inning baseball. Astros wearing the road gray and orange today against the Miami Marlins, leading at 1-0 thanks to number 27, Jose Altuve, with an RBI double. Name that Astros catcher. That is today's starter, Evan Gattis. Not as easy as you would think. Pitches inside to George Springer for a ball, 1-0.
You still confused between McCann and Evan?
I've got it down now.
Oh, okay.
It took me until May, what's today, the 16th, 17th? It took me till just about today, till the 17th. The length of the beard for McCann. That's the giveaway. 1-1, 2-1 to count to George Springer.
Yeah, he seems pretty happy to get away from the New York Yankees where you had to shave that thing up.
George has the only run scored of this game. He doubled and came around on a Jose Altuve double. On the ground toward short, Riddle, who's been solid defensively for the Marlins since coming up from AAA New Orleans, makes the play for the first out. We mentioned it last night. The Astros have a lot of guys hitting in the 290s, including the guy at the plate right now, but Jose Altuve finally crept over 300 with a 2-hit game today, but everybody was riding right along that 270 to 299 mark for this team. As Josh Reddick takes a strike, 0-1. It's consistent at bats throughout this lineup. Reddick around the bunt, down to the count, 0-2. Two and two the count to Reddick. Popped up and fly deep to center field. Josh in this series has 3 hits, but he's hit the ball hard enough to probably have 6 or 7 hits. He's not hit into very good luck in this series. This one high in the air, playable. Stanton will call off Yelich and make the play for out number 2.
Got a chance. We're going to look at our forward spray chart. Jose Altuve coming to the dish. We're going to talk about some home runs. He's got 1 in this series. These are home runs here at Marlins Park in the first 2 games of the series. I think out here these 2 bunched together right there are Jake Marisnick's off that home run monolithic thing. Altuve just to the left of that took a shot at that brilliant piece of work. And then of course Yuli Gurriel yanked that one into the Astros bullpen for a 4-run home run. Running out of superlatives for that thing.
I was letting you go. I was just seeing.
I love how you just lay back and let me run into that thing a couple times.
Oh my goodness. Jake doesn't like that little structure. A couple of home runs. Jose with 1. Actually, Jake didn't say he didn't like it. He said no comment. Pitches up and away to Altuve. Jose has a double and a triple.
What are you hinting at, Todd?
I'm just saying. He's got the 2 spots out of the 4
yep.
that are not as easy sometimes, especially the triple. Plenty of doubles in Jose Altuve's bat, and triples too, but he's got a few at bats left today. 2-1 pitches, a called strike, 2-2. We're in the 5th. Astros lead 1-0. Altuve has 2 of the 3 hits. Reyna's did a pretty good job. A lot of 3 hits, a couple of walks, hit batter, 1 run so far through 4 2/3 innings.
The pitch count is getting up there for him. Number 86 just on its way to home plate, but he threw 101 last time out against Atlanta. Went 6 innings.
Don Mattingly's bullpen was really taxed. They had a number of roster moves before the game. This ball is driven towards that sculpture in left center field, and this ball is off the wall, bounces past Christian Yelich. Altuve is going to go for 3rd. He has himself his 2nd triple of the game. Double, triple, triple for Jose Altuve. He's there with 2 outs in the 5th.
Multi-triple game. Only Altuve would take pleasure in hitting multiple triples in one game, but an elevated fastball that was absolutely just jumped on by Altuve, and I think that launch angle might have been a little bit too low because he hit that ball so hard. But how about the bounce off the bottom of the wall? Realizing extra base as he goes into that long stride that he actually has, and picks it up a little bit when he sees that ball bounce back. He's got to be careful of that helmet. He's had some issues in his career with that helmet tripping him up. It's led to some comical events in the dugout, some recreations. 103 miles an hour off the bat for Jose Altuve.
We showed you at the beginning of the series, or maybe last night, how they are shying away from throwing Jose Altuve fastballs around the league. He continues to do damage against the fastball.
Yeah, that's outrageous numbers against that fastball.
1-1 the count to Evan Gattis. Altuve now with 3 of the 4 Astros hits. Every Astro hit today has been an extra base hit. Double by George Springer, 2 triples and a double by Jose Altuve. High in the air on the infield, Derek Dietrich waits for it. The 3rd baseman puts it away. Evan Gattis retired for the final out. We're through 4 1/2. Astros lead at 1-0. Is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Even sandwiches being made up here at Marlins Park and delivered to the fans as JT Riddle takes a pitch from Lance McCullers for a ball, 1-0.
Get one of those to go.
A little snack on the flight home.
Yeah.
McCullers so far has allowed 4 base runners, 2 via the walk, 2 via hit batters. And he's 2-0 on JT Riddle. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for the Marlins as we are exactly at the 1/4 of the way through the season. After 4 1/2 innings in game number 41. Ball's fouled away. It's 2-1. 40 times 4. Astros have played 40 games. That's 160. 4.5 innings times 4 is another 2 games. That's 162. So whoever your favorite player is, if you want to see what kind of pace they're on, multiply their numbers by 4 right now. Maybe one of the reasons why we saw Dallas Keuchel leave after 5 innings yesterday. He has thrown 63 pitches in the first quarter of the season, or 63 innings in the first quarter of the season.
He is an innings monster too.
3-1 pitch, fouled away. It counts full. To be exact, Dallas has thrown 63 2/3. So last night with a big lead, AJ Hinch said 70 pitches, 5 innings, 10-2 lead. Thank you very much, Dallas. We will give it to the bullpen from here.
So how many guys are going to have 80+ RBIs in this lineup? Man.
Julia gave you the Stroh poll, trying to figure out who might lead this team in RBIs. 4 guys in the 20+ range. Another 3 guys at 18. 3-2 pitch. There's the first base hit of the day for the Miami Marlins. JT Riddle with an opposite field single against Lance McCullers. Mentioned Lance with a special day pitching here in Miami. Has never faced the Marlins before. He is a Florida kid. He has pitched in Tropicana Field in St. Pete, but his coach that he shared with the late Jose Fernandez in Tampa, Florida, his pitching coach Orlando Chinea, in attendance at this game today. So you know Lance wants to fare well. It was always a dream for Chinea to see those Tampa kids face each other in a game. Punted back to Lance. He has a play at second. They get the force out there. Urania, who runs well, got up the line. No chance for a double play, but McCullers erases the shortstop Riddle, and instead the pitcher will have to run as Urania bunts into a fielder's choice.
That was a great read by Gaddis. You could hear all the way up here Gaddis screaming 2. Ball bunted right back to Lance McCullers. Made a good play on it. Good look at it. Lance recognizing it about right here. He's hearing Evan Gaddis saying 2, 2, 2. Alluding to the fact he wants him to throw it to second base.
Back to the pitcher. Could be 2 as they throw to Marwin for 1. He bobbles the turn. D. Gordon's one of those guys you have to be absolutely clean with a double play. And maybe Marwin hurried a little bit. They only get the 1 out.
And it happens, like you said, with a speedy D. Gordon. With the swinging bunt back to Lance McCullers. Gave him a good feed, but in trying to make that quick transition, bobbles it.
A lot of comebackers to the pitcher the last couple of days.
Yeah, it was kind of freaky last night how many times we saw Dallas Keuchel making a throw to first.
6 in 4 innings. Christian Yelich will bat. Marlins wanted to take an extra time just to make sure Marwin caught that cleanly and didn't fumble the initial throw from McCullers. They're satisfied. No review in place. And here's Yelich, who has grounded into a fielder's choice and flied out. Dallas had 6 assists over those 4 innings. Lance has 4 assists in this game, including back-to-back batters. Pitches away for a ball, 1-0. Balk is called by the first base umpire and crew chief Sam Holbrook. So D. Gordon will trot into second base.
Not sure what that was. I think Lance McCullers got in his own head right there. A little bit of a, I guess you could call it a brain fart.
And it came set, then went up.
Yeah, he kind of confused himself a little bit. What was interesting too is the pitch, well, not the pitch before, but the sequence before. He stepped off and turned to throw to first, but didn't throw. And then got a little confused in the process right there. But 2 outs in the inning. All the focus is going to be on Christian Yelich.
Runner in scoring position now for the first time since the first inning. Astros with a 1-0 lead in the bottom half of the 5th. On the ground foul, 1-1. McCullers working in his 3rd consecutive road start. Normally, we say that's going to be a tough stretch for him if he has to pitch 3 straight times on the road, but it's been quite the opposite. In Anaheim 2 starts ago, 7 innings, no earned runs. At Yankee Stadium last start, 6 innings, no earned runs. So far, so good today, trying to get through the 5th inning. And he's ahead of Yelich, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Christian, part of a very talented outfield here. Yelich and Marcell Ozuna kind of switched spots. Ozuna used to be the center fielder, Yelich used to be in left, but they really like the way that Yelich goes after balls in center, so he and Yelich switching center and left, and Giancarlo Stanton manning right field. Just staying alive on the 1-2 pitch. .80 pitches in for Lance McCullers. His opponent Jose Urena has thrown 90 through 5. There goes D. Gordon. The pitch is inside, ball 2, and Gordon has himself 3rd base. Stolen base number 12 for D. Gordon. Deep bluffing down the line, forced Lance to step off. McCullers will still work out of the stretch here with a runner on 3rd. 2-2 pitch away. It's 3-2. Leading hitter on this team, leading RBI man, Marcell Ozuna waits on deck. Swing and a miss. McCullers gets Yelich. They strand D. Gordon at 3rd. Lance McCullers and the Astros through 5, leading 1-0. Not a lot of strikeouts today for Lance McCullers. That's his 2nd in a big spot. Nothing. A couple of Astro fans on hand here at Marlins Park. We head to inning number 6. The Astros' turning point, if you could find one early in the season, may have come on April 11th in Seattle.
Grasshopper Day.
Julie and I eating grasshoppers at Safeco Field. Blummer, before that, 2.6 runs per game. That has more than doubled since that game. And remember, on April 11th, they were down 5.
Yeah.
And then the Grasshopper
started all the comebacks.
Grasshopper turned things around.
Grasshopper Choppa.
That was Yuli Gurriel who hit that. But everything has been better for the Astros after a sluggish start in the first 8 games plus. Yuli swings to the first pitch and bounces one to Dietrich. Spins around and makes the throw for the first out of the 6th inning. Yuli now 0 for 3. It's been a game for the Astros in which Jose Altuve is 3 for 3 with 3 extra base hits. The rest of the team is 1 for 17.
Yeah, he's been kind of a hog with the hits.
Houston needs to find some other guys not named Altuve to start producing in this 1-0 game and give Lance McCullers a little bit more of a cushion. The Marlins will start to stir in the bullpen. Remember, this is a guy, Jose Urena, who started the year in the bullpen. And as Blummer mentioned earlier, was extended in his last outing to 101 pitches as he throws his 92nd of the day today. They probably don't want him to go too much further than that 101 number. Arwin has walked and struck out.
Don Mattingly's got a dilemma. Bullpen's been blown up here in recent weeks. Then you finally get a guy out there in Urena who's dealing, but his pitch count's getting a little extreme.
They called up 2 different arms today to add to their pitching staff. A couple of right-handers, Ryan Ellington and Odrisamer Despaigne, called up from AAA New Orleans. Junichi Tazawa, who we saw on Monday night, put on the disabled list. And then Tom Kohler, who started last night, sent down to AAA. Tazawa has rib cartilage inflammation, as Urania is going to get 2 outs in this inning on ground outs, as Marwin Gonzalez is now 0 for 2 with a ground out to second base. The Coca-Cola Value Nights package is one of the better ballpark bargains you can find. This offer is available for select Monday through Thursday regular season games, and here's what you get: a ticket, a hot dog, a soda, and a popcorn for just $18. Visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more info. 2 out, nobody on. Here's Alex Bregman. He swings and fouls one back, 0-1. Bregman is flied to center, flied to right. Only 5 hits combined in this game, 4 for the Astros, 1 for Miami. So it's Jose Altuve 3 hits, the rest of the stadium 2, including the Marlins, 0-2 the count. Broken bat, little flare, that's going to fall in for a base hit. Alex Bregman on board with a 2-out single. That is the first base hit for the Astros. It's not an extra base hit.
Little Bjorn Borg drop shot behind the shortstop. Get that top spin. Little Wimbledon shot as the bat goes down a hero. You hear it breaking in the replay.
Jake Marisnick starts out by looking at a breaking ball for a called strike, 0-1. Normally, Urania is about 56% fastballs to about 21-22% sliders. Today, that mix has changed a lot. We often talk about pitchers not throwing the fastball much to the Astros. 45 fastballs to 38 sliders so far. Urania has really tried to stay more with a wrinkle against these Astros, and he comes up and in and hits Jake Marisnick on the left arm.
That is not going to feel good off the point of that left elbow. You can almost see it swelling up instantly.
Jeremiah Randall, head athletic trainer, heading out to take a look at Jake.
Didn't sound good either. Good look at it on the Supermos. That's that 2-seam rotation, causes that baseball to tail into a right-hander, but right on the elbow.
That was the 100th pitch of the game, 100th pitch from Urania. Jake's going to be in a little pain, but he looks like he's going to be okay.
Did AJ get a little bit of a smile? Still cracking on him. Don't rub it. Don't rub it. Oh, he did. I think they're actually counting the seams. You see, there's 12 seams on there, AJ. It hurts.
That is no fun.
Well, you want, it's a lot to ask, but you want Jake to stay in there because he can run. Somebody shoots a ball in the gap, he could be off to the races. Oh, that looks like fun.
See that mark?
Barely notice it, but if you need some help.
Ooh.
It's looking better.
That is not pretty. Well, Lance is going to get a chance to help himself here. McCullers at the plate with 2 on and 2 outs. He's aggressive at the plate. Swings and fouls one back. Lance has flied to center, flied to left.
Come on, Lance, do some damage. Help your own cause. Talked about the run support. He doesn't get much. He got some in his last outing, but he could have a chance to help his own cause right here.
He's got a pitcher who is now about to throw his 102nd pitch of the game. This is his high mark of the season. Ground ball, fairly well hit, but right at D. Gordon, who flips it to Riddle, and it's bobbled and safe all around. A little nonchalant, and the Astros have the bases loaded with 2 outs.
That is not going to make Perry Hill happy at all. First base coach who I played with predicated himself on doing the fundamentals right. And you can see the footwork just didn't get there for D. Gordon. Still a catchable flip by JT Riddle. It almost looked like he was a little bit late getting to the bag. I'm not sure JT Riddle anticipated the ball coming his way, because that was just a basic routine play with 2 outs just to toss over to first with the pitcher running, who's not running very fast.
The Astros get a huge break right there. McCullers hit it on the nose, but he hit it right to the second baseman, who could have made the play to first, or if Riddle covers second, should have had an easy play at second. It was a combination, as you said, of Riddle not getting there in time, and D's flip was off.
And how about the opportunity to get Urania out of there without damage being done? Now you've got George Springer up there in a bases loaded situation.
Pitches a strike, 0-1.
Wow, I can't believe that. Veteran D. Gordon. See that Marlin bullpen double barrel going right now. They should have been taking a break. That was an out. 100.3 off the bat for Lance McCullers, though.
Lance has made contact every time. Doesn't have a hit to show for it, but he kept this inning alive.
And it kind of goes to the point that we keep talking about with the Astros. Contact. Make contact, put the ball in play, force the defense to make plays, force them to make decisions. That was a poor one right there.
See if Springer can make them pay. He's down in the count, 0-2. George is 1 for 3 today with a double and the only run scored of the game. Bregman on third, Marisnick on second, McCullers on first. All this coming with 2 outs and nobody on. Now a little meeting between A.J. Ellis and Jose Urania. Big spot in the game for Urania and the Marlins, trying to work through the 6th inning. He knows this is his last inning with a pitch count up at 104. No chase upstairs, 1-2. George hit 2 home runs Sunday in the second game of the doubleheader against the New York Yankees. Tied for the team lead with 9, he and Marwin Gonzalez. Broken bat, past the diving Justin Bour into right field. 1 run scores, Marisnick comes in. The Astros make them pay for the errors. Now 3-0 Houston on the 2 RBI single by George Springer.
2 out lightning by the Astros. It is truly remarkable what these guys are able to do with 2 outs, and the issues they cause just by having base runners. Hit by pitch and error. Now Urania, who should have been happy getting out of this inning on a ground ball to second base off the bat of Lance McCullers, is being removed from this game after giving up 2 more runs. My goodness.
Broken bat single just past the first baseman Justin Bour into right field, and the Astros take advantage of the extra out. They lead it 3-0. We'll tell you about the new reliever for the Marlins when we come back. It's George Springer with a 2 RBI single.
Put the ball in play. We saw Lance McCullers do it. It ended up in a bad choice by D. Gordon and an error. Now this time off the end of the bat for George Springer. Somehow manages to get it past Justin Bour at first base. But 2 out lightning, 2 strike lightning, contact. Force that defense to make plays. It's worked out good for the Astros. And how about the 2 out RISP numbers for the Houston Astros continuing to go up?
That was a really tough pitch that Springer put in play. That was exactly where Urania wanted it. You've got one team in the Astros that have won 13 out of 16. You've got the other team in the Marlins as Harlan Garcia takes over, who have lost 16 out of 20. You could almost feel as soon as that error was made that the team that's been struggling is going to suffer, and the team that's been on a roll is going to take advantage. Garcia comes in to face the left-hand hitting Josh Reddick. Tries a pickoff attempt. just by putting the ball in play. Lance McCullers should have been the final out, but it wasn't. George Springer with 2 strikes. Puts the ball in play, finds a hole between first and second. Reddick riding an 8-game hitting streak, batting for the 4th time, still looking for his first hit today. And you talked about it before the break. If McCullers is like a lot of pitchers and goes up there and strikes out, we're already talking about the bottom half of the 6th inning in a 1-0 game.
Did a great job. Competitive AB.
He has put the ball in play all 3 times today.
There's more of a chance, according to Baseball Savant, of Lance McCullers' ball being a hit than George Springer's by a long shot.
Reddick, high fly ball to center field. He got under this one, though, as Christian Yelich waits for it and puts it away. But the Astros take advantage of a 2-out error by D. Gordon and lead it 3-0 after 5.5.
Park where we used to watch Jose Fernandez dominate on the mound here. Such a bright young star in the game. It was last September that we tragically lost him, and that bright smile. Lance McCullers trying to pay tribute today to his good friend. These two met when they were in high school in the Tampa area. Lance wanted to perform well because he wanted to pay tribute that way. He also paying tribute with his uniform today, wearing the custom-made cleats to honor his good friend Jose Fernandez. He spent some time at the memorial too, guys, outside of the ballpark here, just outside of home plate, and put his name on there along with many other fans who were able to pay tribute to their pitcher, their star pitcher here in Miami. But just an emotional day for Lance as he showed up in Miami. I mean, I could feel it too. I don't know about you guys. This place is just, it's darker than maybe it should be without the shining smile of Jose Fernandez and what he brought to this team. Such a leader, guys.
So right, Julia. Huge void here in Miami. This team desperately misses Jose Fernandez, not only for what he could do every 5 days on the mound, but what he meant in that clubhouse.
No, I think it truly is his spirit that is what is being missed in that clubhouse and in that dugout for Don Mattingly and those guys. There was just a relentless energy when he was in that Marlins uniform, and I know he is greatly missed.
One of the coolest moments in baseball last year as Justin Bour tries a rare bunt against the shift, as we look at the Fernandez wall where fans can sign their messages and show their respect to Jose. One of the coolest moments in all of baseball last year was D. Gordon turning around with a right-handed batting helmet, pretended like he was going to hit right-handed, just took a pitch or two, and then turned around and lefty and said that's the hardest ball he's ever hit in his life as he hit a home run. Marisnick on the move. He traps it. Jake can't do quite everything. That was a great attempt. Seems like Jake's made every play in this game and throughout this road trip, but Justin Bour on with a 1-out single.
Yeah, the only thing that I can relate the Jose Fernandez issue with is when Darryl Kyle passed away, and watching what it did to Bagwell, Biggio, Billy Wagner, and some of these guys that were teammates, and the impact. And it wasn't so much what they did on the field, it's what they brought in the clubhouse and what they brought in friendships. And I can't imagine what Lance McCullers went through with that whole situation, but what he's doing a great job out here keeping his composure and representing Jose Fernandez quite well.
They were workout partners throughout their time in Tampa high schools. Lance went to Jesuit High School. Jose Fernandez went to Alonzo High School. Lance saw Jose really grow up as he defected from Cuba and learned the language when he arrived in Tampa. And tragically, we lost Fernandez at the end of last year. Giancarlo Stanton into right, and it's lost by George Springer. It goes all the way to the wall. Marisnick will play it back in. Bour got a late start off first, expecting that to be a routine out, and instead it turns into a double for Stanton.
George has had issues with lights in the past, mostly at Minute Maid Park, but now here at Marlins Park, that one finding its way into the light standard on its way to George Springer. I thought he had a beat on this, but then all of a sudden you see the panic set in, and he was trying to get out of harm's way. Not a good feeling.
Now Lance is going to have to work out of a situation. Second and third, 1 out in a 3-run game. He faces Derek Dietrich. Well, we saw a defensive misplay by the Marlins cost them a couple of runs last inning. That will not go down as an error because Springer lost it in the lights, but that's a ball that normally would be caught. Dietrich fouls one back, 0-1. Lance up to 90 pitches in the game. Has not had a big strikeout game, and that seems to be the theme lately. Did not have a big strikeout game in Anaheim when he started this great run. He's been working very efficiently. Now he's ahead of Dietrich, 0-2, and Plummer, this could be a case where he goes for the strikeout with second and third and one out.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's always nice to have that option if you are Lance McCullers. He can also reach back and heat that fastball up 95, 96. And he will get on that breaking ball and try and snap that off and get it below the barrel of Dietrich here. I'm sure that's a conversation that he's having with Evan Gattis. In an 0-2 count, you can make a decision whether or not you want to waste a pitch right here and elevate out of the zone, or try and bury a breaking ball and let Evan Gattis know ahead of time so he can get down early and block it. But plenty of options here by jumping ahead early 0-2.
There's the curveball, called third strike. Big strikeout for McCullers, freezes Dietrich. Third strikeout of the game, and it keeps runners on second and third, now with 2 away.
Or you can just bring Senor Nasty immediately and put him away and not even waste your time. Talk about being efficient. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thanks for coming.
Well, we talked about pitchers picking up fielders, and this would be a big spot here. Lance could pick up George Springer. Again, not an error, lost the ball in the lights, but situation where you'd like to see that play made. 2 outs, 2 on, and A.J. Ellis checks his swing.
Can really see the initiative behind that breaking ball from Lance McCullers. Good look at it on our Supermo. Just a perfectly located breaking ball.
There's a strike, 1-1. Ellis is lined out to center and struck out. Lance has allowed 3 hits. He's hit a couple of batters. He's walked a couple of batters. He's also struck out 3. On the ground towards Altuve. Jose waits for it, makes the play. McCullers works out of a second and third 1-out situation, and the Astros lead through 6, 3-0.
The Marlins, and it's time to reveal the winner of our Chevy Stroh poll. Thank you for voting in our Stroh poll. Remember, you can find it at Root Sports SW on our Twitter page. We asked you which of the current Astros RBI leaders will be the RBI champ at the end of the year. You guys think it's going to be Carlos Correa. He wins with 58%. Let's see the current RBI totals right now. Carlos Correa with 23, McCann leading the way with 25. Springer adding to his. He's moving up. What do you guys think?
I think the Correa call is a great call. Got a lot of confidence. Obviously, it's easy because he hits in the middle part of the order, but he's, for me, I haven't checked everybody else's numbers, but he has gotten a ton of opportunities with guys on base and in scoring position. So I expect that to continue throughout the year.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with Correa. I think the fans may have that one right. Altuve could make a run too. He's up to 19 RBIs. He's having himself quite a game with 2 triples and a double. That series 309, 6 for 9 rather, including 3 for 3 in this game. In last night's game, Jake Marisnick set the mark for the most total bases this season with 10. 2 home runs and a double. Altuve now with 8 total bases has a chance a day later to break that mark, or at least match it with another double here. Takes a called strike from the new Marlins reliever. Kyle Bearclaw takes over in the 7th inning.
Making his 17th appearance. You know what I think would be interesting is if George Springer could go out there, drive in 100 and score 100 out of the leadoff spot.
Beautiful. Called third strike. Altuve goes down looking on 3 pitches. Bearclaw retires him for the first out of the 7th inning. That's not entirely out of the realm of possibilities.
Darren Erstad. I'm not sure how many guys have done it, but I know I remember looking at Darren Erstad's numbers when we were playing together here in Houston, and he had a season out of the leadoff spot where he had 100 plus runs scored and 100 plus RBIs. Pretty incredible stuff.
George so far has scored 27, so he's on pace for over 100 there, and he's knocked in 24. Just below the pace there. That would be fun to watch as the year progresses.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on that.
Evan Gattis has been hit by a pitch, officially 0 for 2. He has reached base in 19 straight games. He fouls one away. It's 0-2. Lance McCullers worked through a second and third one-out situation in the 6th inning. There is bullpen action going for the Astros. If Lance's day is done, he went 3 straight starts on the road of 19 innings without allowing an earned run. Base hit for Evan Gattis into left field. He is a one-out base runner for Houston in the 7th. Connect to Astros baseball all season long with the MLB.com @Bat mobile app. Customize the app for the Astros and get great stuff all year by subscribing to @Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Download MLB.com @Bat today, the #1 app for live Astros baseball. Here's Yuli Gurriel, 0 for 3 today. He has a 4-game hitting streak going. So 19 innings, Blummer, in 3 consecutive starts without an earned run allowed by Lance. I think the home road stuff is going to end for a while.
It's good to see. The adjustment had to be made. It was the discrepancy between the home ERA and the road ERA was just too much. I think he was feeling it a little bit too.
It almost coincided as that pitch is up and in with Lance getting away from that heavy use of the curveball and trusting the fastball changeup more.
I agree, and pitching a little bit more. You know, he's got the strikeout stuff, and we saw when he needed it, he could go to it. But I think that fastball turning into the ground ball pitch for him has been a huge bonus. But you're right, it takes Lance is a little bit stubborn. We can be honest about it. He's young, he's electric, he's got a great arm, he likes the strikeout. But you can see the fastball. That's a great mix. You turn those 3 pitches into 33% of the time where you got to keep the hitter on their toes and guessing. That's going to make you more effective.
I'm not sure if he's ever thrown 24 changeups in a game.
No.
That might be the high water mark for him. 18 of the 24 came against left-hand hitters as Yuli Gurriel goes down. Second strikeout for Bear Claw.
But you can be as stubborn as you want, but some of those numbers start to get a little gaudy on the wrong side. That'll change your mind a little bit, make you make the adjustment. He has.
It was cool to see him with only the 2 strikeouts in that situation, knowing he needed a strikeout and still being able to go back to that strikeout pitcher when he wants to.
Oh yeah.
He struck out Dietrich with 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. 2 outs, Gattis on first base. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin has an 11-game hitting streak on the line as he bats here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. He's 0 for 2. Pitches away, 1-0. And when you have the combination right now going of Keuchel and McCullers.
Yeah. It's a pretty good 1-2 punch.
Charlie Morton was electric with his stuff last time out. He'll get the start on Friday when the Astros kick off that series against Cleveland. Off day tomorrow. It's 2-0 to Marwin. This is a team 40 games in that has had a lot go right for them. 14-6 on the road, 14-6 at home. Keuchel and McCullers doing their thing. The bullpen for the most part has been very effective. A rare blip in New York for the only loss of this road trip. And the offense continues to take care of business. Pitches a strike, it's 2-1.
Almost feel like Charlie Morton is even surprised by himself at times. When he goes out there, he touched 99 in that start against the New York Yankees. I mean, and you hear other broadcasters coming over and asking what's going on with Charlie, and you read some of the quotes and Charlie can't even explain. There was a couple articles where he just said, I just went out and tried to throw harder and I did. But he's doing a great job. The punch outs are coming.
In that game on Sunday night, he struck out in order Gary Sanchez, Matt Holliday, Starlin Castro, Aaron Judge, Didi Gregorius, Aaron Hicks, and Chris Carter. 7 straight.
That's borderline frightening.
I'm not sure he understands why, but we're glad.
Well, think about it when he does understand why, and he can actually go out there and execute and be pinpoint with 95 plus with sink. Then a little bit of a turbo slider mixed in there. My goodness.
Yeah, you can throw out all the scouting reports on Charlie Morton from
exactly
before last year, because he showed some velo, higher velocity when he was with the Phillies last season. Pitch in the dirt to Marwin, which means Evan Gattis will get a head start with a 3-2 count and 2 outs. But prior to that, he was a different pitcher than he is now.
No, he was just a sinker slider type guy, pitching to contact, using that defense behind him. But now he could have that mentality of a punch out type guy.
Lance excited over there on the dugout bench. Looks like his day might be done. He contributed on the mound specifically with a 3-hit shutout through 6 innings, but also at the plate, keeping the ball in play. Astros scored 2 runs in the inning as Marwin Gonzalez strikes out. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Kyle Fairclough. 7th inning stretch time at Marlins Park, 3-0 Houston.
Game flex plan or the 5-game pack. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com/mini-plans to get yours today. Back at Marlins Park in Miami, known for its great food, so I was on the search to get some local flavor and I found it. This is the Taste of Miami. It's a little area tucked away on the concourse where you can get ceviche, the Cuban sandwich of course, or you can go to Mama Choa and get a frita burger. It has the thinly sliced fried potatoes on top with cheese. You know you want one, guys.
Good. Definitely looks good over there. Taste of Miami.
Does look good. I wouldn't mind, yeah, just wrap that up, get it to go, put it in my carry-on. I'll be happy.
Julia, did you partake?
I'm always down. Or did you want me to get you one?
No, did you actually try one of those?
I had a bite.
Oh,
I've
come
already
on.
eaten, so I could only try it.
JT Riddle leads off the bottom half of the 7th inning. Which one did you try?
The frita.
Oh,
There's
nice.
a lot going on with that.
Yeah, it looked good too.
Chris Davinsky on.
You have to be really hungry to get one of those.
I'm getting close to that.
So the night you put away those torchy tacos, you were really hungry.
I was starving. Skipped dinner that night.
'Cause you did a really good job on those.
It was tough to make a decision out there. There's a lot of good food here.
0-2 pitches upstairs from Davinsky. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the good thing about the Astros winning 7-2 on Monday and 12-2 last night is coming off that doubleheader where they used pretty much everybody except for Luke Gregerson and James Hoyt. The A guys out of the bullpen, the back end guys, have really not been tested in this series. Day off tomorrow. So AJ Hinch
Empty them.
has as good a situation for his bullpen as you can possibly have playing 5 games in 72 hours.
This guy is a bullpen day off. Chris Davinsky. I mean, it's not out of the realm of reality that he could go 3 innings here. I'm not sure if AJ wants to do that with the day off. He probably wants to get those guys out there and use the back end of that bullpen. But Devo is a unique specimen. Good talking with him too. I think a lot of people saw that in the pregame.
You did a segment with Chris Davinsky mostly about the changeup.
I asked him about the changeup, asked him about the bullpen, asked him about his delivery, but he is always entertaining. And talk about a guy who just loves the game and a guy who loves wearing that Astros orange and blue. He called it, I asked him if we could call it the circle of death because it's a circle change, and he explained he doesn't try and hold it as loose, but he said during the game he can tighten down on that thing and actually holds that circle a little bit smaller, but it creates good depth, and it's just a natural pitch for him. Now, I always want to hear how these guys develop these pitches, but Davinsky sounded like he was a guy that was lucky enough to be able to have a natural grip on that changeup to go with the fastball.
All the way back to high school, he said.
Yeah, and that's rare.
That's also a leadoff walk issued by Chris Davinsky. Start the bottom half of the 7th.
Just like we promised earlier in today's game, it's Miller time, brought to you by, of course, Miller Lite. Lance McCullers honoring his good friend Jose Fernandez, going out here in Miami, pitching extremely well, pitching to contact too. He went 6 innings strong. He gave up 3 hits. Took a while for them to get that hit too, going 4 strong before giving up that hit. No earned runs, 2 walks, only 3 punch outs. A lot of ground balls and a lot of situations he was able to battle out of.
Ichiro Suzuki, the pinch hitter, swings at the first pitch and sends one to right field where George Springer makes the play. Davinsky gets the first out in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Hey, Lance had a little bit of an issue in that first inning. A couple of hit batters on breaking balls, a walk. Called Evan Gaddis out a couple of times to the mound. After that, it seemed like once he got through that first inning, he was on a roll.
Settled down, but yeah, he was pitching out of damage early.
Really, without the lights getting in George Springer's eyes, should have allowed 2 hits.
Very true.
A really good outing for Lance McCullers Jr., who continues to pitch well. His last 3 starts now, 19 innings of no earned run baseball.
On the road.
All on the road, at Anaheim, at Yankee Stadium, and today in Miami. In his home state, 6 shutout innings in front of his former pitching coach, Orlando Chinea. Davinsky back to the top of the order, facing D. Gordon with 1 on and 1 out. D was one of those guys hit by a pitch by McCullers in the first inning. Officially 0 for 2. Fouled back. It's 0-1.
So 7 of 9 starts for Lance McCullers have resulted in quality starts. It's a good start to the season.
That pitch mix that we showed, something we've never seen before from Lance McCullers. Ball hit pretty hard, but Jake Marisnick is there to play it on the line. D. Gordon's hitting some tough luck in this series. He and Josh Reddick on the other side have been the tough luck hitters. 2 away in the bottom of the 7th. Here's Christian Yelich, 0 for 3. Thing about Lance, he's still 23, 4th youngest pitcher as a starter in the American League. And like you said, strikeouts are fun, and he lived with the strikeout for much of the early part of his career. Now we're seeing him pitch to contact a little more, and when he needed that strikeout today, he got it. But overall, he's not had big strikeout performances, and he's been able to be very successful with that in those 19 innings of no earned run baseball in his last 3 starts.
Oh, just a thought about the strikeout rate for him maybe declining a little bit. It might be because he's throwing more strikes too. As a hitter, you know a guy's going to be aggressive in the strike zone. You're going to swing a little bit earlier too. And a lot of guys don't want to get to a 2-strike count with Lance McCullers because of that breaking ball.
Chris Davinsky with an 0-2 fastball to the left-hand hitting Christian Yelich. These guys have never faced each other. You would almost think for sure this next pitch is going to be what he calls the COD.
Yeah, I like that too.
Circle of death.
We called it the circle of death, and I said if you keep going like that, it's going to be cash on delivery.
There it is, but Yelich doesn't chase. It's 1-2. Yeah, he will do well for himself if he keeps pitching like this. Devo had that really unusual outing at Yankee Stadium where he allowed inherited runs to score on the ledger of Will Harris, and then allowed 3 runs of his own to score as the Yankees put up 6 in that 7th inning. Yelich fouls it away. It stays 1-2. Give him the ball at any inning, innings 3 through 9. You can have him go 1 inning up to 4 we've seen this season. Trying to keep this at a 3-0 game. And he gets him. There it is, that changeup. Yelich laid off one, but couldn't lay off that one. Chris Davinsky with the strikeout. And we are through 7 in Miami with the Astros leading 3-0.
Astros. It's time now to play Name That Astro, presented by your local Honda dealer. We give you clues, you tweet us your best guess at Root Sports SW. Birthday boy, award winner, and retirement. Those are your 3 clues of the day. Cut.
Birthday boy.
I don't know. Did a good job of being just vague enough to where I can't pick this one up.
stumped Blummer.
Finally, yeah, that's a good one.
Carlos Correa with a day off. A.J. Hinch was hoping he would have the entire day off and not have to use his shortstop. So far, so good. We're through 7. Astros lead 3-0. Alex Bregman comes on to face the side-arming right-hander Brad Ziegler. And Ziegler doesn't swing through that first pitch, 0-1. Bregman with a base hit with 2 outs in the 6th inning. At the time, somewhat innocuous, but it turned out to be a big inning for the Astros as they added 2 runs thanks to an error prolonging the inning. And then George Springer with a broken bat, 2 RBI base hit. 1-1 the count to Bregman. 1 for 3 officially on the day. Alex with that big grand slam on Sunday night against the Yankees, his first home run and only home run of the season. Out in front of that change up, it's 1-2. Ziegler's a guy with that funky delivery that's not going to give you much velocity, but he's going to keep you off balance. 83 with the fastball, 75, 76 with the changeup. There's a ball hit pretty well to center field, but it's holding up for Christian Yelich. 1 away in the 8th.
Good swing by Alex Bregman, and talked about keeping hitters off balance. It hasn't been Brad Ziegler's year with that 7.04 ERA coming in at WHIP, almost at 2. It's not too often that you see 10 walks over 7 strikeouts either, so it's been a rough go here in Miami for Brad Ziegler.
Astros added to that total with a couple of runs against him in the opening game of this series on Monday. Jake Marisnick bats. Where's that sleeve now on the left arm? A little compression sleeve around the elbow after being hit by a pitch his last time up. What does that do for you after you get hit and wear that little?
Try and keep the swelling out of it. You know, it tightens it up and it keeps it from swelling up, and you're trying to push that swelling out of the joint area, allow you a little more flexibility in it.
You saw the Evan Gattis arm guard, and underneath that you can see the black sleeve he wears. It's a really tight sleeve, right?
Yeah, no, it's basically in this box in the training room, and it's literally could be, you know, 100 yards long, but they just cut off enough of it that you can slide it up on your arm and cover up whatever area you need. But you'll see it a lot when guys get hit. They'll wrap it around their shin if they foul a ball off it, but it just keeps the swelling from just dwelling in that one place in the elbow. And you know, when it gets into the joint, it can lock it up. So trying to push that swelling out of there.
And guys now have the personalized elbow guard, so you can see Jake really doesn't use one because he's using Evan Gattis's here. There's a ground ball towards third. Good play by Dietrich to retire Jake Marisnick for the 2nd out of the inning.
There's something to smile out, presented by Cricket. Today's attendance here in Miami. Demographics a little bit young, but they showed up in strength. 24,699. A couple Astro hats and jerseys floating around out there.
Today is the STEAM Day at Marlins Park. All the kids learning about science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics as it relates to the game of baseball. So a chance to study a little bit and watch a baseball game at the same time.
Yeah, STEAM Day is going to mean something a little bit different in August.
Gets warm around here. Nori Aoki is pinch hitting for Chris Davinsky. Aoki facing Brad Ziegler. Unorthodox delivery with an unorthodox hitting style, and a little chopper back to Ziegler. He will throw to first, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Marlins reliever. We head to the bottom of inning 8, still 3-0.
It is time to name that Astro, presented by your local Honda dealer. We gave you some clues. Jeff Blum could not figure it out. Here it is, Larry Durker. Debuted on his 18th birthday, manager of the year, 98. Had his number retired.
Good one.
The anniversary's coming up for that.
Very good one. It's on that all-time wins list.
Anniversary coming up on Friday, Julian mentioned.
I think I'd go with a 6-man rotation if I had that on my team.
Yeah, that would win you a lot of rings, I think.
Yeah.
You had those guys to choose from. Astros had a full bullpen pretty much to choose from today, and they're going to choose Will Harris here in the 8th, and Marcell Ozuna fouls one back, 0-1. Ozuna 0 for 3, all his bats against Lance McCullers. McCullers went 6. Allowed 3 hits and no runs. Chris Davinsky with a walk. Nothing else allowed in the 7th inning. And now Will Harris in the 8th. All hit pretty hard, but right there is George Springer. 1 away.
It's an interesting article out on Hardball Times all-time Astros depth chart. Take a peek at it. Give your opinions to Hardball Times. But I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of conversations about this. Yeah, you got to push Lance Berkman into the outfield with Jeff Bagwell at first. Morgan Ensberg at third. Dickie Thon at shortstop. Plenty of options out there.
There's some current options that could make a run.
I was going to say there's got to be some qualifications that these guys will be playing themselves into, because you could see some names change on that.
Justin Bohr, the batter, he's been on base a couple of times. We saw Roy Oswalt was the starter, but there were a lot of good starters to choose from.
Yeah, we saw that list previously.
So you saw the 6 guys previously, of which you would have to choose 5 for your rotation. Who would Hardball Times like to see in their rotation?
Be a good question. There you go.
So Nolan not in there.
Dallas Keuchel making it on.
There you go. Billy Wags, the closer. I'm sure that will elicit some Twitter responses.
Oh yeah. That's at real Todd Callis.
Thanks, Plumber. At Root Sports SW. Yesterday was our Twitter Tuesday. There's a called strike. 3-2 the count to Justin Bohr.
Already seeing a couple of Ken Caminiti's at third base.
Yeah.
You got Brad Ausmus, Alan Ashby behind home plate.
A lot of people were watching us today during their lunch break. Appreciate that. It's still kind of late for a lunch break, but still possibly a late lunch hour. Astros hope to get home in a decent hour tonight after what has been an eventful 4 days, playing a doubleheader Sunday and now 3 games with the Marlins. On the ground, shallow right, Jose Altuve is there and makes the play for the 2nd out. Big J.R. Richard. Talk about throwing downhill.
I mean, the intimidation of just having that massive human being out there and then backing it up with 100+ and that slider where it just disappears. Yeah, that's right. Take that, Penguin.
And there are some not so pretty looking swings against that big right-hander for the Astros. J.R. Richard, 0-1 the count to Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton's been on base all 3 times, a couple of walks and a double on a ball lost in the lights hit to right field. One of only the 3 hits allowed by Lance McCullers. Will Harris with a count of 1-1. Will trying for a good bounce back outing, just like Chris Davinsky. Both those guys pitched in game 1 on Sunday against the Yankees. The only game the Astros lost when the New Yorkers scored 6 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 2-1 the count. You know, those couple of days off or 3 games off in between, both Will and Chris Davinsky were looking forward to pitching today before the off day. Ball strike, 2-2. Popped in the air, playable. Will Harris is going to call everybody off, and the pitcher makes the play. The former infielder says, I can make this play off the mound for a 1-2-3 inning. We're through 8, still a shutout, 3-0.
Our Shiner Light Wand spotlight is going to be on Brian McCann. Now, they've had some big offensive nights on this road trip. Hard to highlight one guy, but he's been coming through with some big knocks when he's in there. That was against New York, his former team, against a lefty, Jordan Montgomery. That was a big swing to break open that game on Friday night. And then last night, after the Astros drew 3 walks, he comes through with a big swing to really be the turning point of last night's game before the offense really took off after that. We haven't been able to give him his love, though, because this team has been so good, guys, because they're all getting it done. But McCann coming through with some big swings on this road trip. We're giving him his love right now. You know, after that game in New York, we didn't get a chance to talk about it because he had the rain out after that. So we didn't get to look back at that big swing. But that was a big moment for him, I know, against his former team. But it also was a big moment in that game. Todd.
Yeah, it's tough when Jake Marisnick hits 2 home runs and drives in a career-high 4 the same day you drive in 4, as Brian Ellington, just up from AAA New Orleans, comes on in the 9th inning for the Marlins, delivers to George Springer for a ball, 1-0.
You don't like it, play better.
Brian McCann is the ultimate team guy.
I was to say, he's going to be the last guy complaining about getting airtime or anything like that. He's pretty comfortable going out there and playing the game, helping contribute, and just watching the guys go out, have fun, and win.
I'm not sure if I've heard a player recently who defers as much to his teammates as Ken Giles starts to warm up as Brian McCann does. And if he does anything even remotely slightly wrong defensively, he'll call himself out on it, whether it's a catcher's interference or a strikeout wild pitch in the Musgrove start against Tampa Bay where he felt like he should have blocked it. He'll say, well, that was on me. Those runs shouldn't have scored. I mean, a lot of times it isn't on him, as Springer sends one to Stanton for the first out. But he is always taking the heat when he feels like he wants to, and he's always deferring to his teammates.
Well, that's one way to gain respect in the clubhouse, is to not put it on other people and take the responsibility of it yourself, even if you had a minimal part in it. But it's a good way to get that trust built up between him and his pitching staff too.
Here's Josh Reddick. He's got a chance to extend a hitting streak. Might be his last shot, 9th inning of a 3-0 game. He was very frustrated with himself in that fly balls last time up. There's a diving stock by Dietrich. Dietrich gets up and makes the play. Reddick robbed again in this series. This has been a frustrating 3-game set for Josh Reddick. Now it's time for the unlimited baseball break presented by T-Mobile. Coming up, the Cleveland Indians over the weekend. They are currently playing at home today against the Rays, trailing 6-3 in their game. Trevor Bauer, Mike Clevenger, and Danny Salazar against Charlie Morton, Mike Byers, and Joe Musgrove.
Astro killer Trevor Bauer, they need to figure him out.
A.J. Hinch said before the game, I'm going to do everything opposite of what I normally do in terms of getting my team ready for Trevor Bauer, because this team has not done well in the previous outings. Here's Jose Altuve. He's having himself a game.
How about Clevenger looking like DeGrom light?
Jose with 2 triples and a double. Retired on strikes his last time up. He has 3 of the 7 Astro hits. And with that, breaks the tie.
Sneaking past LB, Lance Berkman on his way to Cesar Cedeno, Jose Cruz, Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio. My goodness, Craig. That's how you accrue 3,000 hits, huh?
That was
plus
225 is a whole lot of 3-hit games or more. 1-1 pitch in the air down the line. Long run, Giancarlo, and he can't make the play. Altuve has himself a 4-hit game, 4 extra base hits, 10 total bases. He matches Jake Marisnick, who had 10 total bases in last night's game.
All about location for Jose Altuve on that double right there. Got himself a 4-hit game today. Just off the end of the bat, out of the reach of Stanton, who came charging in, gave it a pretty good shot.
That's Jose's last at bat of this game. He ends 7 for 11 in this series.
There's a real shocker. Jose Altuve raking on the road.
Evan Gattis takes a pitch away for a ball. 7 for 11 with 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run. That's a pretty impressive series for Mr. Altuve. Evan Gattis has been on base twice, a hit batsman and a base hit his last time up. 1-1 the count. Astros lead 3-0. You saw Ken Giles warming up earlier in the inning. He will pitch the ninth, probably regardless of whether the Astros tack on a run here, because there is a day off tomorrow. Stays a save situation if the Astros do not score. Becomes a non-save if Gattis drives in an extra insurance run. 1-1 pitch, high in the air, foul, heading towards the crowd, and it will reach the crowd. 1-2 the count on Evan Gattis. That Indians team they mentioned coming in for the weekend, as you saw, they're a half game back of Minnesota. The Twins have played some good baseball, surprising some people.
Yeah, they really have.
Kind of unusual. They've played really well away from Target Field. They have an 11-5 record on the road, 8-11 at home. They lead Cleveland by a half game in the AL Central. Pitch misses inside. It's 2-2. Ryan Ellington has been up with the Marlins for each of the last 3 seasons. Appeared in 8 games with New Orleans this year, all out of the bullpen. Split time again last year between AAA and the big leagues, making his 2017 appearance here for Houston. He was with them earlier, appeared in a couple of games against the Cardinals and the Braves, just his 3rd outing of the year. Zawa goes on the DL, Kohler sent down. Marlins needed some fresh arms today.
Yeah, there's some guys on that DL with a, we call it the DS, deflated spirit. Guys get beat around.
Bullpen for Miami coming in had allowed 36 runs in the last 12 games. But not today. They were able to get through 3 innings of shutout baseball against the Astros as Evan Gattis goes down swinging 3-0, heading to the bottom of the 9th.
The bottom of the 9th, this final game in Miami. We're going to flash back real quick to 2013. Chad Qualls, a former Astro, showing off the acrobats here. At Marlins Park in 2013. What happened? Man down. Chad Qualls, that's pretty much the funniest piece of video that was ever made, I think. But as we went down memory lane, Jake Marisnick had been in the big leagues for a total of 8 days that day. He was in center field. He said he was running in, so he missed it. He was looking down on the ground, heard the crowd erupt. Obviously watched the video 20 times that night. They played it on the Jumbotron the next day. They put a chalk outline on the field. Somebody put a sniper up there.
There he is, Bob Lee Swaggart up there.
The Marlins had some fun with Qualsy. Isn't that just so great?
It is priceless.
It doesn't get old.
It doesn't. You can replay that over and over.
Qualls made an excuse up. This is how the story goes. He quickly created some kind of an excuse and then took it back, saying, you know what, this has actually happened to me before. He's had a few tumbles on the field. One's at a pickoff move. So good.
He blew out his knee one time or something.
Oh, no, he did in Arizona.
Yeah, I think I was there. I think I was in the opposing dugout for that.
I think AJ was managing that game.
How about that?
Qualls.
Yeah.
He was great to have around the clubhouse, and he's still pretty tight with some of these Astros. We enjoyed having him around. That's why we can pick on him a little bit.
Good stuff as Jose Altuve makes the play on Derek Dietrich for the first out in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Ken Giles has come on to try and finish this 3-0 game. Lance McCullers for 6. Chris Davinsky in the 7th. Will Harris in the 8th. And now Ken Giles on in the 9th. Tires Derek Dietrich on a ground out. Now he'll face a pinch hitter. JT Realmuto will bat for AJ Ellis. Realmuto with a couple of hits in last night's game, getting a chance to pinch hit here. Astros lead 3-0, bottom half of the 9th inning. Of all the pitchers on the Astros staff, nobody has pitched more against the Miami Marlins than that guy, Ken Giles, with the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League East before becoming an Astro, appearing in a 22nd game against the Marlins in his career, and he's ahead 0-2 on Real Muto. Does have 9 appearances here at Marlins Park. 1 run allowed in 9 innings and a couple of saves against Miami in their home stadium. Ahead 0-2. And a 3-pitch strikeout for Ken Giles. 2 outs, nobody on. The Marlins down to their final out. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. JT Riddle takes a pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Riddle's been on base a couple of times, single walk, 1 for 2 officially. There's a strike, 1-1. Ken Giles trying to save this game for Lance McCullers Jr. Lance with a 3rd consecutive outstanding outing. Chris Davinsky and Will Harris with nice bounce back outings out of the bullpen. Lance trying to improve to 4-1 on the season. Pitch misses low and away. It's 2-1.
Make sure and stay tuned after this ball game for Astros post game. Hang out with Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton as they talk about Altuve running all over Miami. The road warrior Lance McCullers Jr. doing a great job, and obviously Julia again doing some work down there, getting some post game sound.
3-2 the count. Ken Giles now 1 pitch away from a 3-game sweep and a 6-1 road trip. Astros trying to improve to 7-2 in the 9 starts that Lance McCullers has made in 2017. Riddle stays alive. Astros started the day 16 games over 500. Last time that happened was the end of the 2005 season 12 years ago. If they get to 17 games over with a win today, take it back another year to the end of the 2004 season. Riddle holds up. 3-2 walk issued to JT Riddle. That'll keep the game alive for the Marlins, and they'll send a pinch hitter up there. Tyler Moore will hit. Moore was the hero in their lone win so far in this homestand for the Marlins. Hit a 3-run home run against the Atlanta Braves on Sunday and won that game 3-1. Marlins wrapping up a 9-game homestand, sitting with a record of 1-7 right now, down 3 with 2 outs in the 9th. Called strike, 0-1. Moore has faced Giles 3 times in his career, and Ken has retired him all 3 times. Giles ahead 0-2. Once again, Marlins down to their final strike. Moore holds up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Giles coming in with 10 saves on the season, tied for second in the American League. Only the Red Sox' Craig Kimbrell has more. And still 1-2. In the air center field, Marisnik to his right makes the play, and that'll do it. Astros win. 4-pitcher combined shutout, 3-0 the final. They sweep the Miami Marlins and finish the road trip with a 6-1 record.
We got a player of the game. You're looking at him right there on the left-hand side. It's brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Jose Altuve having himself a spectacular evening. And something odd happened at the end of it. We'll get to that. That was a double to start off his afternoon here with the noon start. This one launched over the head of Christian Yelich for a triple. He would back up that triple with another triple. Getting a hold of this fastball up and hitting the taser off that lower part of the wall. Cruising mildly into third base, and then the drop shot double to